Okay, so we've been having this section back to back from January, February, March, April, May, June, July, up to December. In 2024, we repeated the same thing in 2023, and as far back as 2022, even before then, for those that have been a member of Globfolio. And right here, 2025, we're here. So first thing, I want to say is a very big thank you to everyone. It's not easy. Yes, we've had the ups and downs during the year, and we are here. And by God's grace, let me say that so far so good. If I had to use my own personal portfolio, for instance, it's been a profitable year for me, and I wouldn't want to be the only one talking every now and then. So that's why I decided to give us this particular month to be in charge. Please, I want to appeal to us. This connotation of a theme, okay. Let me see if it's. I want to appeal to everyone. Please kindly hold your system, kindly hold your device because we don't want any distraction. This is a webinar where I open the floor for Globfolio members that have been in the community for at least 12 months. So this is where they have the chance to share their feedbacks, what they have learned during the year, and tell us what happened, how you're able to grow your portfolio. Even if you lost money, we want to hear because, like I said, there's always lessons to learn, both in good and bad times in the market. So, before we start, I just want to share a brief because there are important unfolding events that I want to call our attention to. So, let me use the first 10, 15 minutes, quickly take us around what is happening. Although this webinar, I will complete it in January, but just to give us heads up on what is coming in 2025 and how to prepare for the market in 2025. But I'm not going to conclude this section. I will stop at inflation and then open the floor for members to share their feedback. So the reason I have to do this is because of certain unfolding events. So I don't want to leave it in January, but I just want to prepare us ahead. And then in January, we conclude. We just have less than a week to January. So probably I will conclude that section. So for those that are joining us for the first time, please, you're welcome to Globfolio community. And I want to also apologize because some of you might be joining our webinar for the first time and then you're imagining, oh, is this what you do in the community because you've not been part of my section? No, every December, I usually throw the mic to the Globfolio members. But if you are joined months back, I've been the one presenting, sharing how we approach the market from the global financial markets. We look at what is happening in the US, we connect it to the energy markets, we connect it to the currency markets, and then we look at how CBN is responding to that. And based on CBN response, we are able to find sectors that will most likely benefit from CBN's reaction. And then from there, we can spot specific companies to watch. That's how we invest in the Nigerian stock market. So for December, we throw the mic for members to share their feedback. So you're welcome to Globfolio community. We're a community of traders and investors. So in trading, we buy stocks, profit from short-term capital appreciation, and in investing, we buy for dividends as well as profit from long-term capital appreciation, as well as whatever benefit that comes with it. So this is where I would give us the opportunity to share our feedback. That's why I had to create this blank space. But please let me quickly share an update. I don't want to miss this update, and I wouldn't want us to miss because that's the essence of our monthly webinar, just to give us heads up on what is happening in the market. So recently, the US inflation results that was released last week or so thereabouts uh, moderated. So US inflation cooled surprisingly from 3% down to 2.7%. So when you talk about inflation cooling, it means that the rates at which prices are going up have reduced. So it doesn't mean that prices are no longer going up. So in US, inflation moderated to 2.7%. But here's where the attention is. Here's what is actually attracting, making the US Fed worried: unemployment. If you pay attention to our previous webinar in the last 2 or 3 months, I talked about jobless claim, the cooling labor market, and how that the US Fed is paying a lot of attention to labor and not just inflation. So inflation in the US has moderated to 2%, but unemployment surprisingly hit 4.6%, meaning that the number of people that are out of job in the US is increasing. So you can see right now it's hitting a year high of 4.6%. So it's obvious that the US Fed is faced with a recession fear, because when the number of people that are filing for unemployment claim is increasing, it's a problem in the US. It actually means that companies are not hiring as fast as they should. And for companies not to hire, it means something is happening somewhere. So let's continue. So already the market is pricing in a further rate cut next year. Note this, we have seen 2 rate cuts this year, and the market is pricing in further rate cuts next year, and a restart of treasury purchase of up to 40 billion. Let me explain something. Now, in the US market, all this that is happening in the US market, it has an implication. So, like I always tell you, don't say because you invest in Nigerian market, so whatever happens in the US market is not your problem. No, it is. So that's why if when I host this webinar, I like to take us from the global financial market down to the local market. So that way you begin to see opportunities, and you're also intentional as to the kind of sectors and stocks you are buying. And that's how I've been investing for how many years now. And for some of us that have been following me, at least to a very large extent, you've seen the result and how it played out on our portfolio performance. Now, there is something we call treasury purchases. Now, or another name could be quantitative easing or quantitative tightening. Now, when CBN, for instance, Nigeria wants to control inflation. Now, aside from increasing interest rates, it does something. It can also sell bonds to you. Now, when they sell bond to you, like long-term bond, it's collecting your money. The government is collecting your money, and then it's issuing you what we call a bond certificate. So when they collect your money, what they are doing is they are mopping up funds in circulation. So that way they are able to control inflation. 2 ways to control inflation. Number one is either they increase interest rates or they mop up funds from the public or from the market by selling bonds to you. Now, the opposite, if inflation is down and now they want to pump more money into circulation, what they do is they buy back your bond. By buying back your bond, they give you their money and then they collect back certificate, meaning that we are redeeming. So that way they are redeeming. So we can call it bond redemption. Your bond has expired, your treasury bill has expired. This time, treasury certificate has expired. This time, the government is not renewing again. Rather, they are paying you back your money. Now, when they pay you your money, they are pumping more money into circulation. So in the US, the US Fed is looking at buying up to 40 billion naira bond. It means by buying bond worth of 40 billion, they are going to pump a lot of money into circulation. So this, coupled with the fact that the US Fed might be might be cutting rates further in 2026, is significant in the markets. That's why I want to share this part quickly with us. It's very significant in the market, and also it's significant for emerging market currency, because for US Fed to adopt what I call quantitative easing, it means they want to pump more money into circulation. And when they reduce interest rates, it means that the cost of borrowing will reduce. When cost of borrowing reduces, people will go to the bank to borrow, cash become available, and that means there's going to be a lot of money in circulation, which is not good for the US dollar. Now, you will recall that the US Fed slashed interest rate to 3.75 to 4% again in October. That's just 2 months ago. The second rate cut this year to address the cooling labor market. And I said something here. I said a cooling labor market is a situation where demand for labor reduces while competition for job or available opening increases. Now, some people are saying that the reason why companies are not hiring as fast as they should is because of AI. Because the rate at which a lot of companies are automating certain processes now, hiring rate has reduced. So it's not really about recession. That's the argument for some quarters. They're saying that it's not about weakness in the US, but adoption of artificial intelligence. A standard manufacturing company, by the time you automate all your production processes, do you need human again? No. So that's the argument in some quarter, meaning that the increase in CapEx spending on AI will continue to grow up. And that's the reason why hiring has been very slow in the US. And that's a problem in the long run. So that's why I said anything that has an advantage will always have this advantage. So a slow job growth is more urgent than inflation. Hence, the US Fed decision to cut more rates. So that's why, if this continues and unemployment rate increases in the US, there's higher chance that the US Fed will cut rates in 2026. Now, The big question is the US Fed going to slash rate further in December, which is this month we are watching? But a lot is going to happen in 2026, and this rate cut is something that, if it doesn't happen by economic data, it's going to happen based on appointments, because Donald Trump is already saying it. That's why I shared it in the community, that the next Fed chairman that he would appoint must be someone that will lead to his own decision. And if you look at it critically, the guy has been hitting at cut rate, cut rate, cut rate. That's why he's not even in good time with Powell right now, because he has been encouraging Powell to cut interest rate. That is his own ideology. So if he's saying that the next chairman that will come in May next year must cut rates, then you have to pay attention to this particular event. US Fed rate cut last month has dragged the yield on fixed income. So fixed income market in the US is going to be it's not going to be attractive again. Because if rate is cut further, it means that yield on money market instruments in the US will reduce. And that way, US dollar would also go down. And what is the implication? If yields are going down, it means money is going to be available. Money is going to be accessible to a lot of US citizens next year. And the value of the dollar will definitely drop, because we're going to see activities of carry traders next year. Carry traders are people that will now, they will go to the US to borrow, because rate is no longer rate is now attractive when it comes to borrowing. They move the money down to emerging markets like Nigeria. So that's why I had to pick this, and I said the global market driver in 2026 is the US Fed chairman's tenure will end in May next year. So there's a clear indication that the next Fed chairman will be supporting further rate cuts, which is what Donald Trump is hitting at, which is not only bullish for risky assets, stock, gold, crypto will be bullish, yes, but extremely bullish on Naira. So meaning that I will be extremely bullish on Naira next year. That's if the CBN strategically makes our money market attractive to FPI. So we'll discuss this in January. Why am I saying this? If the US Fed is going to cut rate next year in response to cooling labor market, rising unemployment, and inflation already is even going down. So which is even a catalyst behind that rate cut. Now, more importantly, if by May Donald Trump appoints someone that he thinks probably would play by his card or by his rule, then it means we're going to see aggressive rate cuts next year in the whole of 2026 on average. And if rates drops in the US market aggressively, it means the dollar itself will lose value. So I'm projecting a bearish move on dollar index. Dollar index measures the strength of the dollar against major currency. For those that are involved in Forex, if I'm involved in Forex, I'll be bearish on dollar for the whole of 2026. Then most investors who are looking for yield opportunity will move their money. So I'm seeing an inflow of FPI into Nigeria next year, especially if governments take advantage of this opportunity like reforms, stabilizing the economy, and CBN also ensuring that our interest rates against US remain attractive. That way, we're going to see more funds inflow into Nigeria. And if you look at our inflation report is also encouraging. Inflation is down to 14%. So that means if you invest in the money market instruments in Nigeria, less the inflation rate, you're going to get a positive real return, which is also encouraging. And if you look at our currency is also strong. And share something very significant with a few friends, and let me talk about it right here. So I told them that based on this macro event, the US Fed reducing interest rates, and then our CBN taking advantage of this period to strengthen our currency, it means that there's higher chance, and I even started it in our last webinar, there's higher chance that the Naira might strengthen into 1,100. Now, just the way we are seeing this trend, if it continues like this, Naira had broken a major key point. And I told us the last time that the last time we saw this kind of play was around 2004 to 2008. Like I said, Naira broke below a major key level right here, which is 1,450. So if this continues, based on a similar play between 2004 2008, what happened then? Naira dropped from 132 to 111. So if the government sustains the current positive tempo, we may see further gains to 1,100. So based on the current macro trend and the fact that the US dollar may not be attractive to a lot of investors, especially the stronger players, insurance investors, because of the lower rates. We might see naira drop, and this is very good for Nigeria economy. This is good for a lot of companies, and this is good for the stock market, considering all that is happening right now. So this is just a teaser on what we should be expecting in 2026, because with uh this single projection that rates in the US is going to drop aggressively, whether based on data or based on political connection, then it means that naira is actually at an advantage at this point. But it's left for the government to take advantage of this event to strengthen the naira, strengthen the economy, and ensure that at least citizens also get real value for whatever they pay for. So that is just a summary of what you should be expecting in 2026. In January, I will complete this slide, and then I will also share certain sectors that are poised to benefit, although we are already positioned on some key stocks, but this is not where I want to talk about stocks now. The whole idea of this section is to give you the mic. So I'm not going to continue beyond this section. In January, we'll complete it, and then we'll start talking about certain stocks. Although I've recommended some stocks that I think we do well. In January, we'll talk about them. And I'm very happy and I'm glad that some of us are positioned on certain stocks in the market based on our recent recommendation. And the fact that the Nigerian stock market is back to at least short-term bull, and then we all keyed into stocks. So I'm hopeful that before the from when market open this tomorrow into first week or second week of January, we should see more rally as based on technical analysis. So that's just a summary of what we should be expecting. Like I said, in January, we'll conclude it and then we'll take it off from there. And then in January, I would also be sharing our G30 stocks sheets for 2026. So please don't forget, G30 stocks for 2026 will be released in January. I'm glad some of us that invested in my G30 peak. We started G30 in 2024, and that was in June 2024. And in June 2024, we beat the market, even though we started in June. And you can see the performance here. Nigerian stock market did 37% from January to December, and G30 did 38%. And this is just July to December. And in 2025, we also have G30 sheet for 2025, although I'm yet to update this. If I update it, definitely it's obvious that we also beat the market. So let's quickly run the updates here so that we'll see live if we actually outperform the market or not. So first thing I want to do is let me look at the overall market performance from January to date. So how did we fare in the Nigerian stock market from January to date? So based on our charts, the Nigerian stock market is up by 49.17%. This is it here, 49.17%. So here, 49.17%. That's Nigerian stock market. So based on the last price of the stocks we have here, we're up 64, but I want to update them now so that we'll see if we outperform the market or not. So first one is ETI. Once I'm done, I'll give us the mic. So the first one is ETI. ETI is EcoBank, 38 Naira. So ETI, 38 Naira. So here, 38. And then FCMB is 10.6. FCMB 10.6. Then our Dangote Sugar, 59.65. 59.65. Then UBA 42. Stanbic IBTC 96. Then Zenith Bank 63. Sterling 7.1. UCAP 18. Dangote Cement 609. Transcorp 41, Presco 1450. Yes, Common 1095. Then Guinness 318. Okay, so just a rough estimate. So on our G30 sheets, I think we only have Transcorp down. Yes. We only have Transcorp out of all the stocks we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 13. So out of 13 stocks here, only one stock went down by 15%, and that's Transcorp. Remember, this sheet, we started this sheet in January 2025. So assuming you invested in this stock from January 2025, when we recommended these stocks, this is the performance from start to finish. And you see that the top performing stocks here are Guinness, Okomu Oil, Presco, and then Dangote Sugar, and all that. So based on that, you can see here that G30 averagely, in short, I exceeded this return because for me, I leverage compound return. So this one is just assuming you entered when I recommended and then you held them till date. So you can see that our G30 sheet is up 81.2%, while the NSE All Share Index did 49%. So you can see this is a clear outperformance, and I can tell you how we pick the stock. So this just lets you understand that if you follow a detailed approach in the market, you would always beat the market, especially when you find fundamentally sound oversold stock. That's our language. Fundamentally sound oversold stock. You can see here they all pass the ETF check. ETF is what I usually teach in my ETC class: economic event, technical event, and fundamental. And remember, we only buy them at the bottom of the market. All right, it's time to give us the mic. I'll be, please, if you want to say something, kindly raise your hand. Please, I will appreciate you raise your hand. Let's make this orderly. And please, I encourage us to say something. I encourage us to say something, no matter. See, I'm the one moderating this section, and this is you sharing your feedback. This is sharing. So there's no right and wrong feedback. If you made money, tell us. Tell us the top performing stocks. Tell us how you managed your portfolio and what your plan is in 2026. I want to hear. If you lost money, tell us. Like I said, these are people that have been in the Globfolio community for at least 12 months. Please. Now, why did I use 12-month members? Because if you join our community in less than 6 months, for me, I think it's still recent. If you want to check whether you're actually profitable in this community or not, just stay here for 12 months. That's my assurance. 12 months is enough. So if you have been here for like 3 months, 2 months, just listen to other members, hear from them, and get to learn from their feedbacks. Please, I want to hear from you. You are the one that will determine the length of this section. I'm not going to say anything. I'm giving this mic to you, and then you share your feedback. Let us know how your 2025 was. So I have number one person here, Akim. All right, please unmute your mic, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah, so I have been with the community only for about I think I joined. That was when you did the promotion for. But I used to follow your videos online prior to that. Um, yeah, so I guess I would just listen to other people because I'm very new to the community, right?
All
I
right,
have
all
a,
right.
but yeah, I prefer to listen to the other people for now.
Okay, all right. All right, Mr. Gabriel, can you unmute, please?
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Um, I have, I just want to say thank you, Coach. And if I say I've not learned a lot from you, I'm lying and I'm kidding myself. I think I've been with you now for maybe three years or 4 years. I can't really
Wow.
remember, but I know it's more than 2 years. It's 3 years now, I guess. And when I first joined, some of the stocks you were telling us to buy, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't buying them. I was just like, I don't think this system is going to work. But when I now see that each time you ask us to buy a stock, at the end of it, I was the one at the losing end because I could see that they were actually appreciating in value. So I started buying gradually. But I don't want to say what my portfolio is right now because I just want to be modest.
Mhm.
And I'm doing well in my portfolio. And again, I say thank you.
Thank you, sir.
There's something I just want to say, which is kind of a suggestion for you,
Okay.
because sometimes the WhatsApp group is overcrowded with news, and some of these news they are not really educative. But I'm not trying to. Please bear with me, members of the group. I'm not trying to talk down on anybody. But I'm just making a suggestion. If it's possible for you, coach, that when you post an information, maybe you restrict that platform for maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, so that people can look at your post, digest it before other people will be writing on the platform. Because sometimes you come there, you have about 100 messages, 300. You just don't want to be bothered. And meanwhile, your message is there, hidden within other information. That is just my my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Noted. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay. Can you unmute your mic, Imam, please?
Okay, can you hear me?
Can you hear you, sir?
Yeah, good evening, everyone,
Good
and
evening,
good
sir.
evening, Coach. Thank you very much for what you do. I've joined this platform this year, early this year, around May, and it has been an educative journey so far. Really learned a lot, and I really appreciate the time you take for the monthly webinar. Have I made money or not? I think maybe we park that conversation by the side. I would say I've made a lot overall. If I look at my portfolio, I will consider myself a newbie. 6 or 7 months, I believe, is not enough to say you've understood what is going on in the stock market. So what I've been doing uh, was watch out for your recommendations. Like you say, at the end of the day, you are the CEO of your portfolio. So I think overall things are good. The only challenge I have for me, I don't know if it's okay to call out a particular stock. I think my biggest challenge in my portfolio, if I look at it, the only thing bringing my portfolio down currently is Owando, and reason
You
being
are
that
free. You are free to mention stocks. You are free to mention stocks,
uh,
please.
okay. So
Mm,
I think you recommended Owando early in the year, and I went
mm,
in heavy on that. Um, it started declining. I was tempted to sell, but then I saw further recommendations and I kept on holding on to it. And I think apart from that, that's the only thing dragging my portfolio down.
mm,
Overall, I have stocks that has done 40%, 50%, and I really appreciate and thank you for that. Now, I want
okay.
to also write on the feedback given by the last person that spoke on managing the platform. I believe everybody shares this same challenge. You come to the platform and you see a lot of messages. So you've been running this platform for over 5 years or so, and I believe you know how best to manage it. What we can do is maybe give suggestions. I don't know if we can have a separate platform, something more like a page or a channel where you have subscribed members, and on that page, it will be strictly your communications that will be dropping there. And anybody else that wants to give feedback or comment on what was posted on that platform, then we can come to the other group and have conversations. That streamlines the whole conversations, and then you can focus on the most important one. Again, the conversation is also educative, but sometimes it can be too much. Thank you very much for 2025. Looking forward to a profitable 2026. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, please. I would also appreciate if we share our plan for 2026. And if you also tell us the stock in your portfolio that had delivered most return for you, we also want to get that information. You're free to mention stock, please. It's important so that our conversation are not restricted here. All right. Mr. Abel, kindly unmute your mic.
Thank you very much, Coach Oge,
Thank you so much, sir.
and good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
I joined this community in September this year,
Okay.
based on the recommendation of a very good colleague and friend. But prior to that, I've been seeing your videos on YouTube. I watched quite different videos talking about stock. I started trading in May. So, and I did that. I started doing that as a hobby. So not necessarily. I was just testing the whole thing. So when I had the conversation with my friend, he said he subscribed to it. That Abel, what you gain from it is way more than the 150,000 you buy, and it's someone that I don't take his word lightly. We've been together for a long time. So
Mm.
I just didn't waste my time. I just went, I said, well, I've been watching this Coach Oge's video, so I subscribed. And to be honest with you, I think it was the October webinar. So I had to reshuffle my portfolio. So like the previous speaker said, I wasn't really buying some of the stock you recommended. I would just watch and see and be following them through. But I sold, and I think my biggest win for me was Aiko. So, and after the October webinar, I said, okay, I will reshuffle my portfolio. So I tried to do a little bit of reshuffling and waiting to, to pump um, into the new recommendation. So one of the decision I made is that there are a lot of different things going on YouTube, different people suggesting different stuff, penny that, this, that. I just told myself that, well, since I belong to this community and there is a coach who does the hard work for us, that I'm going to buy strictly the recommended stock. I don't want to disturb myself. I'm looking for passive income, to support my job and to plan a good retirement and all of that. So I said, I'm going to go into strictly this recommended stock. At least I may not be able to buy all, but some of them I will, definitely go for them. That's one. Then, if you don't mind, I have a question. There was a webinar you did where you talked about 10 ETF US stock. I was going to put on the WhatsApp group, but I'm sorry, I usually don't comment on a general WhatsApp group because it's always crowded. But I want to ask, where can we find those ETF? Which platform can we find those ETF you recommended in one of the webinar that we did? I think that was the December the webinar for some of us that subscribed to the December package. So I took advantage of the Black Friday and I attended the webinar. I always look forward to the webinar because you're doing an amazing job, and I say well done to you for helping a lot of Nigerians home and abroad to make wealth. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
So
Thank you
please,
so
where
much.
can we get those ETF? Which platform? I've been looking for them.
Okay. You can reach out to my support, and I've sent an email on with a link to watch a replay of the video. So you'll find that you can reach out to my support on that. An email was sent to everybody, and you'll find that in that email. There's a link to watch a replay of that
Yes, no,
session.
I get the ETF. You said, I mean, the platform to buy them.
Okay, the platform to buy them. You can get a
Yes.
normal US broker like Trove. You can go to Trove. Yeah, there are US brokers you can use, like Trove.
Okay.
Yes, like
Okay.
Trove. Yes, like Trove. You
Okay.
can reach out to my support. You will forward that message to me, please. Hmm?
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you very
All
much.
right. Thank you. All right, Mr. Ben, kindly unmute your mic, please.
Good evening, Coach.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I count it a great privilege to be part of this community, and I really appreciate the opportunity to speak up this evening. Actually, I've been following you since May 2024,
Wow.
and before then, I was following your videos on YouTube before I subscribed.
Mm.
I think I am one of those who have benefited massively from your recommendations.
Wow.
From my experiences so far, I think one thing that has helped me is ability to follow your timing for trading, because in this community is mainly trading 6 months to 12 months duration. From my experiences, I noticed that ability to hold that long, even 10 months, 12 months, is one key to profiting. Because most stocks I discover initially, it may look like, will it profit, will it go? But if you are able to hold on, discover that, wow, the stocks always do well as predicted. And what has helped me to pick winning stock is the analysis you normally give on the Globfolio platform, where you analyze every stock, fundamentals, technical, giving the report, the numbers. I follow those analysis critically,
Wow.
and I'm able to see companies that are recovering from losses to making profits. And I could tell that this one will do well. Since May last year till now, my biggest wins have been Champions Berry, WAPCO, FeedSyn, O&O. I bought it around 15 naira. It went up to 60 something.
Wow.
Then UCAP. Those have been a big profit to me. And like you always say, we are here to make money. And there's a difference between trading and investing. Initially, I was among those who want to invest. But until I understand what it means that you are here to make money, and that have changed everything for me. The profits within this short while has been enormous. My target now is I want to reposition myself such that I follow your recommendations on an annually basis to see if my capital can do 100% within 1 year. I'm giving myself that target that, okay, for the next years, I just keep putting capital for 1 year to see how many percent it will do. Can it do 100%? Can it do 80%? And with that, building wealth for the future. I want to say a very big thank you. It has
Thank you
been
so much,
very
sir.
educative, and thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. If you pay attention to what he said, patience is what I picked from that feedback. Patience, patience, patience. Ability to hold a stock for 6 to 12 months. People ask me what's the minimum holding period when I buy a stock. Now, this is what I do, and I've shared this many times. When I buy a stock, the first thing I want to see is I like to watch my stock go through at least a quarter or 2 quarters. Because when you buy that stock at that moment, you see those sometimes when you buy a stock and you see that price go up, I'm usually surprised myself because I always believe that when I buy a stock, yes, that short term, those daily fluctuations are driven by emotions. But if we have bought into good companies, by the time the company releases its next quarterly result after 3 months, I believe that that's why I say that value would always drive price. Value will always drive price. Value will always drive price. So patience is key for me in this market. Over time, I've come to see that if I buy a stock and I hold them over a 6 month to 12 month period, and I do that every year, I will most likely outperform. I'll most likely outperform. This year, I know what my portfolio did. I did well, far beyond 2024. And one of the things I decided in 2026 is that I'm going to take bigger risk in the market. Bigger risk here doesn't mean I'll just be buying random stock. Bigger risk is I'm looking at allocating more capital for few people that are close to me who have seen me, we've talked together. When I show them my portfolio, they are quite surprised on how big or how far I can go when it comes to buying stocks. So some people would think these stocks you recommend, do you buy them? I buy them. I buy them and I invest big on them. So you may not see my recommendation coming every day, every week, or every month. Why? Because I pay attention to risk. And when I'm even analyzing this stock, I look beyond just my own money. So the fact that people's money are at stake. So from in my head, I even think it looks like I'm even managing people's money by proxy. So that's why you usually don't see my recommendation come. But when it comes, you will see the way I even talk about the stock, you will know that this one I've researched this stock. Just okay, look at what Ikeja Hotel is doing. Ikeja Hotel is already up by over 60% in just how many weeks, and we're going to see a lot of appreciation on the stocks that I will recommend in 2026, and I'll tell you why. Now, why I'm very happy and excited in 2026 is that we are going into 2026 with stocks that have been beaten down. A lot of stocks have been beaten down. A lot of stocks went through sell-off. So this 2026 we are going now. I'm not saying Nigerian stock will do well in 2026, but any recommendation that I drop, take it serious because this time around, a lot is going to happen. A lot is going to happen. Look at G30, for instance. In just 1 year, a typical portfolio of G30 is delivering over 81%. Now, imagine someone that is now taking advantage of compound return. Compound return means that when you sell, you are up, you enter again, you compound return, you will have outperformed this 81%. So if they tell you that it's possible to grow your portfolio by over 80%, 90%, 100% per year in the Nigerian stock market, it is not a rocket science. It is something that I've proven over and over and over and over again. The last person that talked about how long I've been running the WhatsApp group, I've been running the WhatsApp group for close to 8 to 9 years, not 5 years, 8 to 9 years. So if the group is not, if I'm not giving members the value that they need, I'm not sure I'll still be running the group for 8 to 9 years. And for suggestion on how to run the WhatsApp group, sincerely speaking, let me tell you this, let me even make it open to you. I've been looking at revisiting mobile app again. You know, in 2024, I invested in the mobile app and I tried and tried and tried until it failed. Some of us, at least you were here, you saw how we migrated to mobile app. A lot happened, bugging, and then I lost significantly, like a lot of money. But then that's not the justification of me not revisiting it because I've been looking at the WhatsApp group somehow. We are close to the limit. So the question now is, what if we get to the limit of WhatsApp group? How do we manage the overflow? So I don't have a choice at this point to revisit that app. So let me make it here, official request. If you know anybody, you know someone that can develop a good or that has an experience is key for me. Remember, you're going to be giving feedback to someone who has lost money. So meaning that my level of check, my criteria will be a lot more higher than before. I've lost money, not just 1 million. Let me be specific. We lost close to 8 to 9 million naira on that mobile app that failed last year. But then that's not an excuse. It's still business because I've been looking at the group. That's why I'm not trying to grow the group aggressively because at some point I say if we get to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, how do you manage this? So if you know someone that is experienced building a community app, that's the key word, community app, please let me know. And I will appreciate it if the person is experienced. Community app, please. Thank you. So let's go back to the conversation. All right, who is if anyone can you unmute, please? Can you unmute, please?
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. She is His Excellency, they call you. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Compliments of the season. I'm new. I joined the platform. I never knew about Oge. I never knew about you. I'm new in every ramification, new in investing, new in everything. I got in here through FinTribe,
Okay.
Jennifer FinTribe. That's how I got to know about you. So the first time was that first program that you did with the FinTribe family.
Mm, mm,
And I was sold. I'm new in investing too. My husband and I have been thinking about, okay, why don't we look to, having a retirement kind of thing. And so that's our main goal, is to have a retirement kind of investment portfolio.
mm,
And I've stuck to everything, whatever stocks that you put out there. If I have the money, I buy whatever I can buy. And I've seen ups and downs, but I don't look at it in terms of, oh, this stock is losing today, let me sell. No. Um, in fact, when I see it going down, I normally have a bandwidth. I'm like, if this stock goes down up to 20% or 30, I'm going to buy more of that one.
mm,
As long as it's among the stocks. I remember I had a notebook where you were explaining this one is for this type of stock, keep forever. There are stocks that you wait for 6 months, 1 year, you can sell if it makes, a certain amount of profit. So that has been my own strategy. One of the stocks that has shocked me. I joined in September, by the way. Sorry, I joined
mm.
September 2025. One of the stocks that shocked me, I was sharing with my husband a couple of days ago, is it called Meteor?
Mikhail, yeah. I was
Yeah.
supposed to ask, I wanted to ask you that question. Continue.
So a few days ago, I checked. I use Bamboo app. To
Mm,
me, I've not had any problems with Bamboo, so I'm okay with it.
mm.
And a few days ago, I checked. I screamed. My husband was like, "What's going on?" I said, "What? This can't be real." I said, "Okay, I'm going to sleep on it for a few." And I remember I mistakenly posted it on the app, and luckily somebody sent me a private message. I said, "You better go take it out before before you get locked out." So I thanked the gentleman, and I went and deleted it. But I've been waiting. I'm like, what? Do I pull my money or whatever? But that's my biggest profit that
Mm,
I've seen. So the loss side, I don't look at the losses. I'm ready to wait 1 year because I know it's going to go up. And then one question that I have, I don't know if this is the platform for me to
you
share
can
it,
go
but
ahead.
okay. So we signed up with FinTribe for
Mm,
Nigerian stocks only. I now want to sign up for the hybrid. So I don't know how it's going to play out. My FinTribe is a year, so it's going to expire September 2026. But I want to sign up for the hybrid in January 2026. So I don't know how they
okay. Okay.
play that out.
I think you reach out to my support, and then I'll
Mm-hmm.
also inform them that they will share with me, and then I'll give you a feedback on how to merge your standard and basic plan.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
The last part of the question is how I plan to approach 2020. 2026, I'm going to go max. My husband and I are going to go max on. We don't intend to miss any meetings. And if we do, we're going to reach out on the platform to find out what's going on. But
Mm,
we're going to go max on everything. And we hope to make something really big in 2026 because we both have only about 4 to 5 years to retire. So
mm,
we don't have that much time.
mm, mm. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you. I
you.
appreciate your feedback.
Mhm.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. I already have it in mind that if anybody mention FinTribe here, I'm going to ask them if they bought Mikio, because I remember when I had that section with the new FinTribe community, Mikio was a stock I recommended, and I told them go buy Mikio stock. And today, you see what Mikio is doing. We're going to see similar thing. One thing I like about my winning in the stock market is that my winning, they are not a result of random pick. So that's why I usually say that there's a difference between luck and strategy. When you are lucky on a stock and you make money, you're not supposed to be excited. Why? Because that was just a random pick. So that was just a winning out of many. So your next pick, you don't know. But if you have a strategy behind that winning, that is where the confidence is. So I knew what I did, and it's something that has been repeated on so many stocks. Just like you see on our sheet here. For some of us, imagine that you are joined the community in January 2025. This is just a typical result of what you would have seen. So I'm not surprised to see some of these stocks go up. And please, I want to say something here before I give the next person the mic. You know, when you are looking at your portfolio, that's why first thing, let me say this before I move to that key point. Please make sure you separate your investment portfolio from your trading portfolio. Please, it's very, very, if you're here to do so, please do so in 2026. Separate your investment portfolio from your trading portfolio. Is very key. So that when you're looking at your stock portfolio, if you open your investment portfolio, you know that the mindset is not to sell, is to hold for a long time. So even if some stocks are down, you're not worried. Rather, you take advantage of dip to buy more. Now, when you look at your trading portfolio, that's where you are now looking at the performance. Oh, am I up? Am I down? Why am I up? Why am I down? And in your trading portfolio, don't look at, for me, where even though I've seen some of my stocks do 100%, 200%, 50%, what I look at overall that encourages me to move on is my aggregate portfolio. Now, I have a reason why I'm sharing these sheets. Now, look at this here. Whenever I add a stock, I just assume a hypothetical investment. So if you look at this column here, you see what I call assumed investment. Let me use that to explain something. Assume, so meaning that I have been adding 1 million, 1 million, 1 million each to this company stock. I invested more than that. Now, in total, this stock, all these stocks in total have 13 million. Now, if I'm going to be looking at my performance, you know what I do? I will say I have invested 13 million in total right here. What is my gain? What is my loss on this position? So first thing is, oh, my 13 million have grown to 23.5 million. So it's like a particular business, you're looking at your profit and loss position. So your financial statement will show you revenue less expenses. So your total revenue is all the money, all the gains you have accumulated. Then your expenses are the losses. So now what makes you a profitable trader is when you deduct your losses. Like here, you can see Transcorp. Now, our assumed investment on Transcorp was 1 million and then it dropped to 843. So if you deduct your losses from your gain, the question is your account showing loss? If you deduct your expenses, sorry, all your expenses from your revenue, the question is your account showing loss or gain? So what keeps me going in the market is at the end of the day, when I compare my aggregate gain against my loss in the market. So if my portfolio is still showing growth, like here, 13 million to 20 million, then it means I've performed the market and I'm a profitable trader. So some of us look at our portfolio based on individual stocks. And I can tell you why you do that and how to stop that kind of check in 2026. The reason you do that is because you have allocated more money to a particular stock. Now, look at this portfolio now. You see that I assume an equal investment, and this is what I preach every now and then to people that have been in my community for a long time. Equal investments. So when you are carrying out an audit on your portfolio, please make sure you have invested or allocated equal capital. I cannot stress this enough. One of the reasons why you must allocate an almost equal capital is that first thing, all the stocks you see me list here, they are a result of single strategy. You can see here, why did I buy? They all pass the ETF check. So why should I treat one stock? Why should I give one stock preference over the other? Because they were all a result of a single check, a single strategy. That's one. Second reason is that you do not know the one that will outperform. The one you have allocated most capital, the one you have all your emotion, the one you have all your mind in, might be the least of them. This is from experience, and I've reviewed a lot of portfolio, and I can tell you this is a major problem when it comes to I'm sharing what I've discovered. I review portfolio almost every week for those that subscribe to my one-on-one section. So the first thing I run a check on is equal capital allocation. If I see that you have allocated capital unequally, for example, this 13 point something million you're seeing here, a typical portfolio that I've analyzed, you will see that over 5 million will be allocated to one single stock. And then the rest will be carrying 200,000, 150, 50,000. That is not that's not a standard portfolio. So that one you have allocated 5 million on. What if it's the least? Let's say that Transcorp Hotel had 5 million naira and then allocated the rest 2 million, 3 million. I bet you this portfolio will most likely be down because the bulk of the money is allocated to a stock that was down. So when you allocate capital equally, you allow the market, you allow your strategy to work for you. You allow your strategy to work. So one of the best ways to let your strategy work for you is to allocate equal capital. If you don't allocate equal capital, your strategy may not work for you. Your strategy may fail, and you would think that strategy is the problem, not knowing that it's your capital allocation that is the problem. The current portfolio I am managing now for our G30 portfolio club, equal capital allocation, almost equal. So one stock cannot drag a whole portfolio. So even if a stock is down by 20%, it cannot drag the portfolio. What happened to the rest? They will help to stabilize it. That's how to build a standard and balanced portfolio going forward. I'm using this as an example so that when you are managing, when you're allocating capital, you have to be aware of how much you are allocating. Don't let one single stock own a major part of your portfolio because you don't know. You don't know. This is very important. So make sure all your portfolio, if I look at my portfolio and I see that one stock is carrying the weight, now that weight, if it's coming because of capital appreciation, it's fine. For instance, now, let's say that we are seeing this portfolio and then Guinness that I invested 1 million is now carrying over 4.8 million. So you can see that Guinness is carrying the weight. Now, this is a good one. Why? Because that weight is coming from the gain that the stock has accumulated. That's fine. But at the initial time when you are allocating, don't allow one single stock to be dragging your portfolio down. Even if that single stock is up, even if you allocated 5 million to that stock and the stock is doing 300%, that's still a risk. I will still point out that risk and tell you no. Equal capital allocation is very important. That's the first rule when you are opening your 2026 portfolio. Look at your portfolio. Don't let one stock. I've reviewed a portfolio in 2024 where Owando did almost 500%. And in that portfolio, Owando was the least of them. That it didn't even impact that portfolio at all. And the one that carried bulk of the funds were down. I'm saying this because I know how important it is. So it is beyond just knowing what to buy, but allocating capital is very, very important. Please, I want to beg us, when you're allocating capital, don't take this lightly. Please, don't take this lightly. In 2026, adopt equal capital allocation. Very, very important. So let's continue. Let me give us the mic. All right, I have Mr. Abdul. Yes, Abdul Kader. Sorry, I'm not pronouncing your name very well, but you can unmute, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, coach. It's
Yes, sir.
Abdulkader. Yes. So I've been with you for about 3 years now.
Oh,
Though I've been in the market since 2001, since my university days. So I have a bit of history in the market. So my portfolio is green. Though for my trading part of my portfolio, I must confess that I am not too active. I don't trade there too often, just once in a while. But to summarize, I've taken profit like advice for some of my holdings. Averagely, each stock has done about 250%.
oh,
Yes, I'm about a 2 year period, 2 to 3 year period. I'm sitting about 250%. For the same period, my highest gain now is about 418%. That is Northern Nigerian flour mills. And my lowest is Wako, which is Dangote Cement at around 40%. I bought that this year. So what have I learned from you? I've learned from you the need to pay attention to the technical aspect when analyzing stocks, not just the fundamental. Before I met you, I had known about technical, but you practicalize the need to pay attention to the numbers, not just the fundamental aspects. What are the charts saying? What is the market saying in the trades that are going on? How is the money moving on? Money moving into that market. Practically, I saw it with under Nigerian flour mills. I saw it to UAC. I saw it to Wako. And there's this guy too that Chelsea talks about, Mr. Abiola. I think he's on the call. Good evening, sir. So for 2026, what I plan to do is what I'd always done. I will try and continue to buy quality stocks at good prices. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was short and concise. Quality stocks. Quality stocks. You know, I said something at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025. I said that one of the ways to start your new year as a profitable trader is to look at all the stocks that made you most money in that current year, 2024, and then look at all the stocks that you lost money to. Don't ignore the losses. And then look at what each of the stocks that made money, look at what they have in common. Even if they are not in the same industry, when you pay close attention, my trading journal revealed this to me. You can only find this if you have a trading journal. Look at all the stocks that made you money. Even if they are not in the same industry, you would always find something common among your winners. One of them is quality. They have good fundamentals. Quality stocks will always win. Quality stock will always win. So if most of your winning are coming from quality stock, what does that tell you? It means the new year, you should focus on quality stocks. That's it. Just like saying that I want to start my 2026 now. What should my new year resolution is? There's no formula. The easier thing to do is look at what worked for you. Look at what worked for you in 2025. That's all. Look at what worked for you in 2025. And then use that to run your 2026. It's as simple as that. Look at what worked for you in 2025 and use that to run your 2026. So please take your time to look at all the stocks that made money for you in 2025. Study them. There's a lot to learn. Mr. Aki, can you unmute your mic, please?
Yeah, thank you, Coach. Thank you for showing us how to make money.
Thank you so much.
For me, I've been in the stock market for a while, over a decade and a half. I kind of abandoned the stock market before moving into the diaspora. But ever since I've been in the diaspora, I discovered that you will make more money when you invest in the Nigerian capital market than staying in diaspora. That is my own discovery. And so far, so good. I've made good money. And I just want to talk about the falls because you did mention the Mikio, and I did bought that same Mikio, I think at 28 Naira, and it was sitting at that 28 Naira for about 2 months. And I kept looking at the stock and I was like, what is wrong with this stock? It's neither moving up nor down. So by the time I was going to check Mikio was like 45 Naira. In a couple of days, it got to 60 Naira and I sold because I was scared that if it keeps going this up, the fall rate might be devastating. So I quickly sold out until recently I found it was still at 65 Naira, which is still a good plot. And I want to appreciate that. And based on what you have said so far, I think it's a good thing. And we have to reshuffle our portfolio. I'm a victim of what you've just said regarding putting much money in one particular stock, which doesn't really transcend into others. I'm going to be looking at that, and it's a lesson for me too. We keep learning every day. I just want to use the same opportunity to really, really thank you because at the time of deep, when the market was deep, I looked at my investment portfolio because I have three portfolios. I look at my investment portfolio, and the highest loss I had was 9.6%.
Mm.
With the 9.6%, I know if that stock is going to recover within 2 days, it's going to recover. So every time I look at that portfolio, I just smile and I try to even down. But the truth is, they have started recovering. So my only regret is that I'm going to be buying more at a higher price than when I should have bought when the price were low. So that is the only thing I have. But I'm so grateful that since I joined Globfolio about that was in August, my investment portfolio have been very, very, very good. This is by the side. I know it is strictly stock. I don't know if you have a group that deals with money market, which has to do with mutual funds. Somebody here once talked about she and her husband, very close to their retirement. I'm also close to my retirement, and this is not the best place to live. That is my opinion anyway. If you really want to enjoy your retirement, Nigeria is the best place to enjoy your retirement. So I'm also looking at a position where my stocks can take care of my retirement. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that. Okay, let me address the one on the money market. Yes, I've actually been slow in that. We had the money market group before. I closed it because someone lost significant funds, and that was not the first, second time. Even though we had shared rules, and they also encouraged members to limit conversation to that group, but some chose to go to DM, and I don't take it lightly when I hear people come to my DM and then they tell me, oh, they just sent money to someone. I remember when we started then, I had a lot of impersonator. People would change their DM to my own and they will start going to private. That's why you see that we had a lot of rules and all that. So because of that, and I think at some point it caused some kind of argument. I had to close that group, but I plan to reopen. And I think I will take it serious this time. Now, my challenge again is that the reason why we have not created that group was just a moderator, and I've been looking for someone who would help me moderate that group. So I don't want to moderate Nigerian stock group, which my support is doing, and then leave money market group open, because I found a lot of people were taking advantage of that money market group because there was no moderator. So I've been looking for, although I'm talking to a couple of people who would help me moderate that group. So I want money market group to be moderated the way we have the stock market. I know a lot of people will need it, especially those that are approaching retirement. One of the components of a balanced portfolio is that you must have a stable investment. Those ones, they are not dependent on whether market is up or down. There are three investments you must have before you retire. First one, I call them the stable investments. So these ones are not dependent on whether the market is up or down. They give you stable cash flow. That's why you have your mutual fund, you have your treasury bill, you have your commercial paper. And then we have the ones that I call the growth investments. So these ones, they appreciate over time. They appreciate. For example, you are investing in ETF, you are investing in stocks, either dividend stocks, and then you're investing in real estate. The idea is you're looking at assets that appreciate over time. And then the final one is cash. Cash is the king. You must have cash somewhere to take care of emergencies and all that. So I know that, and I will definitely look into that again. I'll talk to my support on how we can manage that. A lot of members have been reaching out to us on that, and we will do that. All right. So I have, who do I have here? Is it okay? Can you unmute your mic, please?
Hi, CoachOge. Good evening.
Good evening, ma. Good evening.
Thank you so much. So I started investing in the Nigerian stock market as far back as 2023, and it was just based on hype on social media. So between 2023, 2024, I had this curiosity, just that, there was nobody to actually put me through on the technical part. However, so what I was just doing was just guesswork the entire 2023. And then I think it was in November 2024 that I came across your YouTube video on NEM. when you recommended them to the public. And so I just jumped in based on, I think, I mean, I just felt that you sounded like you knew what you were doing. So I probably just put like 50K in NEM at the time. And between November and when you recommended Presco, I think in January, there was some increase in NEM at the time. So I was like, oh wow, it seems like this person actually, knows what he's doing. And so when you recommended Presco, I didn't even have cash at the time. I just called my mother and I was like, I beg, bring money, let us put it aside here. And so Presco at the time was about 450 and it went up to I think 1,004 or 1,200 before it started growing a little, in little drops at the time. So I mean, I've sat in Presco since you said we should stay there for long term, so I just keep putting in money every time I have cash. But between January and now, I mean, I keep seeing every time you recommend, and as long as I have cash, I mean, I jump in. And the recent one was the international breweries on that was last week.
Yes.
I mean, I had some cash. I just sold. I needed to pay for something, and I had some cash on me. And at the end of the day, I feel annoyed because that money you recommended that we should jump into international breweries. To be honest with you, I didn't use the money to do what I wanted to do again. I jumped back in at 13 naira, and by the end of the day, we were seeing I think 15 naira, and I was like, see, anything CoachOge says, that's what I follow. I don't even want to know whether he's right or wrong, but that's just where, So in the new year, I look forward to, um, I mean, doing bigger or taking bigger risks, because this money needs to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah, this money needs to be made. But thank you so much. As we said, any recommendations we make, we take it serious here.
Yes.
And we try as much as possible to keep on spreading the good news to the rest of the world about what you're doing for us in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. So let me talk about the last three recommendations in the consumer goods space. You see Nigerian Brewery, you see Champions Brewery. Yes. Ikeja Hotel has rallied. See International Brewery and Champions Brewery. Sorry, International Brewery, Nigerian Brewery, sorry. International Brewery and Nigerian Brewery. If you look at those stocks, I think in 2025 is like a recovery year for consumer goods company. If you look at a lot of consumer goods company, they recovered in 2025 because many of them declared losses in previous year. Now, what I think will happen in 2026 is that most of these consumer goods stocks will focus on market share because they have all recovered. So now there's going to be a level playing ground for a lot of consumer goods stocks. Level playing ground in the sense that one, inflation is down 14%, meaning most likely we might see further dip. And then considering the fact that Naira will become attractive since US Fed is considering rate cuts and Donald Trump is forcing it now that whoever I'm going to choose must bring down rates. And that means that's likely going to be influx of dollar into Nigeria from carry traders, people that wants to invest in Nigerian assets because our yield, our interest is quite attractive and all that. So there's going to be stability. So consumer goods companies that are able to increase market share will make a lot of money. That's why first quarter results in 2026 will be very significant for consumer goods company. Now, one stock that has a different financial year period is PZ. You saw what PZ did. You saw the recent results. For some of us that are yet to see, go and check the recent results from PZ. Watch out for PZ in 2026. And I'm glad many of us are holding it. Please hold your PZ. Hold your PZ very well. You see that recovery we spotted in 2025 on most consumer goods stock. You will see similar thing in PZ in 2026. So hold your PZ and hold them very, very well. So that's why I said January is going to be an interesting one for us. It's going to be an interesting one for us because there's a lot that I have in store, but Nigerian Brewery holds. Nigerian Brewery declared loss in previous year. Look at their results so far. And considering the fact that these recommendations are coming within this period, this festive season, Nigerians are spending a lot of money on drinks. Nigerians are drinking. People are there now. Alcohol, Champions beauty product is going down. Mods, Chamdor, Amarola, you have them. And I had that privilege. Let me share this with us. I think I've in one of our webinars during the year, I've said it before. When Nigerian Beauty bought Distel, I had the privilege of to be part of a team that implemented the accounting software, which is QuickBooks accounting software. That's my other company. So I implemented the QuickBooks for Distel before Nigerian Beauty eventually merged the application. So I saw, and Distel has products that we love very well. I don't know if some of us have tasted First Street non-alcoholic wine. The demand is very, very high. Even yesterday when I went to market to look for that wine, they said it's out of stock. And immediately I saw it, my mind went to Nigerian Beauty. So I use little things like going to supermarkets, asking for certain products to check for companies that I know will do well. When I asked the guy, why is there no First Street non-alcoholic wine? Because that was one of the major products that Distel sells before Nigerian Beauty brought them over. He said the demand is too high, that even they have sent order to the manufacturer and then they're yet to, because the demand is, and immediately I just remembered Nigerian Brewery. And in my mind, I say, I'm glad I have Nigerian Brewery shares. So if Nigerian Brewery tomorrow drops or this week it drops, I will buy more. I will buy more. Why? Because I've seen a sign that the next quarterly result that will come out will be very, very massive. So this recovery is coming at the time where we have the December spending, and Nigerians are spending a lot. So please, Nigerian Beauty and International Beauty, hold those stock. Hold those three stocks. For those that joined my TC section, there was something I shared with them. How to hold a stock from top to bottom. What to watch out for. What to watch out for. And that signal is still very strong on Mikio. So some of you would think, I'm not saying Mikio will rally higher, but as I speak, if I have to pass my comment on Mikio, technically the bull is still very strong on Mikio, but the problem now is upside is limited and downside risk is very, very high. So I'm not saying you should go and buy Mikio, but I'm letting you know that if I have to go by technical analysis that I've shared in my ETC section, for some of us that usually like to hold a stock from bottom to the top, is still very strong on Mikio. And that was the same analysis I carried out on livestock. For some of us that bought livestock in 2024, you saw what happened from 1.17 kobo to 10 naira. So there's something I want to do in May, June. Please watch out for this section. I'm going to host a special webinar, not just our normal monthly webinar. Once results are out, once first quarter results in 2026 are out, there are companies I'm going to pick specifically. Now, these ones, I will tell you with boldness that these ones are 2x stocks, meaning these ones have the potential of doing 200% in the market, 150% in the market. When I made that call on Nigerian Beauty early this year, when Nigerian Beauty was selling for Champions Beauty, when it was selling for 3 naira to 4 naira, and I told everybody in the community that this stock has an upside potential of 200%. It wasn't because I wanted to just impress us, because there was something I saw in the market. That thing I saw on Nigerian Beauty also played out on livestock. And I've been studying that pattern multiple times. Whenever we see companies release first quarter results, please note this. Whenever you see a company release first quarter results in which the profits in just 3 months, the profit declared in 3 months exceeds the whole of the previous year, please, that kind of stock is 100% stock or more. That's a major sign. And when it's happening at a time when technical analysis is picking that stock, you don't joke with those kind of company. When I mentioned Champions Beauty, if you go back to analysis, still on Globfolio, you can go back. One of the reasons I spend time sharing this analysis is because I want to look beyond just buying the stock. When we make money from these stocks, do you usually go back to read my analysis again on that stock to see conviction, to see reasons I recommend that stock? Because the real knowledge, the real value is not the buying and selling, or the fact that you bought the stock and made money. No. The real knowledge is when you go back to that stock and you see and you spot one of the lessons, when you spot value. In Champions Beauty, a single quarter result alone exceeded the whole of 2024. In livestock, single quarter results exceeded the whole of 2024. If you go back to previous year in 2023, Mansard, Custodian, the same thing. So this is not a pattern that is new. I have been following the pattern multiple times. So I said in 2026, when I spot companies that their quarterly results for just first quarter results, that's January to March, exceeds the whole of the previous year. As long as the company is benefiting from macro events, that is a sure stock to hold for at least 100 to 200% return on the market. So watch out for that webinar after first quarter results. So most likely to be in June, July, when I'll be hosting section on dividend growth stock. That's why I will call those kind of stocks you can go big on, because my projections on them are at least 100% to 150%. Not because I want to impress anybody or I want to forecast and then make it look like, oh, no. I will show you data, number, because I've been following this kind of trend since 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. In 2022, Guinness was one of the stock for the year. I don't know if some members were part of my community here. There was a year 2022 where Guinness was actually one of the stock for the year. And Guinness moved from 30 naira to 100 naira. See, all these events I can recall because I've traded this kind of stocks. Single quarter results alone exceeded the whole of the previous full year. So imagine a company single quarter results, 3-month results, beating 12-month results. And the company is benefiting from macroeconomic events. That's a stock to watch out for. Mr. William, kindly unmute your mic, please.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Coach. Merry compliments of season. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So my story is the good, the bad, and the ugly. So
All right.
maybe I'll start from the good.
All right.
On the good side, I have learned so much. The learning is unbelievable, and if I continue like this, I'll be surprised at what I'll be able to achieve maybe in a year's time. Read so many books. 2 books were shared on the group, and I don't know who shared it, but I want to thank those people. The Secrets of Profiting in Bull and Bear Markets by Stan Weinstein, and Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets by John J. Murphy. So those books were very, very educative. Another good news is I analyzed one of your videos, and you gave me a 6 months bonus, which was one of the good news again. I joined the beginning of the year, but of course I've been watching you on YouTube, and because I was watching you on YouTube, I bought NEM insurance just the same way Onyi Moke bought NEM insurance, and the reason I bought it was because the reason you gave was that they play in the dollar space, and because they have those dollars, it's not like the dollars are going to vanish. So it was a good idea to buy NEM, and NEM was profitable. Dangote Sugar was profitable, around 80%. Sovereign insurance was profitable, around 80%. Chams, you said I remember a webinar where you said you were selling your Chams because you didn't know what Chams was doing. At that time, I think Chams was 2.2 naira 20 kobo or something. You said you were selling your Chams. I didn't sell mine, and Chams later came back up, so around 55%. Zenith was also good. So those are my ups. I think overall my whole portfolio hasn't done far above money market, assuming I put in money market funds. So there are the ones I mentioned were the ups. The downs were Access Bank is not doing so well. Oando, of course, UCAP has gone down, and Veritas have gone down. Transcorp Hotel has not really moved. So those ones are dragging my portfolio down. So this is the bad news side. Then whenever you are like this, this screen now that it's on, the price you put it on, you might put it at a certain price, but by the time you want to buy, the price has moved. Then you have to add 2% on charges. However much you bought, you have to add 2% on charges, and so in our own calculation, we will not really get the percentages that you are getting. So that is something that should also be factored into the profits people are making or even their losses. Then you said something about that allocating equal funds. That is not really easy to allocate equal funds, especially when you are buying and selling. Then also when you have to um, dollar cost average, because some of them are going to crash, so you have to buy more. So the calculation now is kind of funny when you are dollar cost averaging. Then another thing is cash. Um, since I joined, you've recommended minimum of 40 something stocks minimum. It's so if someone is buying a stock based on the recommendation, and so because you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, it's usually difficult for you to be holding cash at all times to be ready to pounce whenever coach recommends. You know, if you buy, your allotted money for trading might be finished, so you don't have money to buy again when the juicy ones come. Like I missed out on Fitzin, I missed out on Champions Series, missed out on so many other things. So then one more thing on the bad news side is I believe I've heard you say something about people don't need to buy 15 stocks, that usually 10. It's not only you that have said it, many people have said it. I think the Warren Buffetts and the rest, they are even lower than 10. So if you're not going to buy more than up to, since you've recommended upwards of 40 something stocks and people should buy, let's say 10, 15, you now have to pick. And that picking is now difficult. Which one do you buy? Do you have the funds at the time coach has called the stock? Because if you don't have the funds, the thing might move. And once it moves, it's beyond the buy range. So that is the bad side of my own experience. Then the ugly side, um, this is for every other person listening. You know, it's always good to read the instructions. When you recommended VFD, you didn't recommend VFD. You said we should buy VFD if it reaches a certain price. And immediately I opened the recommendation. I just scrolled down. I didn't read the full thing. I just saw VFD, and the truth was in my mind. I've been knowing that I've been hearing just that VFD is a good buy. VFD is a good buy. So once I saw the header VFD, I knew that okay, coach has now aligned with what is in my spirit. I didn't even read the full thing to say that okay, VFD has to reach 12 naira something kobo before you buy, and I just bought it immediately. So I'm down. VFD is like 10 naira now, so I'm losing on that side. The second ugly news is for about a month now I've been removed from the group, and the last thing I posted was a movie recommendation. So I want to guess that I was removed from the group because of the movie recommendation. I've asked support and I've also messaged you personally to see if anybody can tell me why I was removed from the group. Now I know, okay, you are not supposed to post other things that are not for that are not stock related, but I feel the movie I posted was a movie called Margin Call, which has to do with stocks. And I know there are a lot of movies out there and documentaries on Netflix that have to do with stocks. It was a Saturday, and I think sometimes we share jokes about stocks on the group. We share YouTube videos about stocks on the group. So I feel what is wrong with recommending a movie that has to do with stocks on the group? There are still other movies like Wolf of Wall Street and The Monster, the documentary about this guy that did the scheme in America. I can't remember his name right now. So I also want to ask: is it that we cannot, because as you've always said, the group is a more of like is more. What is most important is the education and the information. So is it that those things are prohibited, where people can share things like that? I feel things that have to do with stocks, like movies, should still be part of the should be allowed to post things like that on the group. Then finally, 2026, what am I going to do differently? Um, I think my new strategy is timing, because I noticed if you buy at the wrong time, because you can see the difference between September, October, and November. September there was a dip. October the market did well. November there was a dip. December the market is picking up again. So I think for me personally, I think I'm going to focus more on that timing issue, looking at those dips and those rises. And it's always good to buy the dip, because if we don't buy the dip and we just buy, you might miss out on a whole lot of profits. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate. Thank you. Thank you. First thing, let me apologize for that. On the movie side, we don't restrict posts that encourages people to learn on stuff. So if it's movie, maybe because we didn't note that, we just thought you posted a random movie. So what you would have done was, maybe if there had been a comment on that. So
There
I'm
was a
very
comment at the bottom.
apologies, please. So you can reach out to my support, or you can chat me. I will add you to the group. Sorry about that, please. My sincere apologies. Then you mentioned the fact that I've recommended over 40 stocks, and then the maximum hold between 8 to 10. So how do we know what to hold? Or sometimes when we run out of cash and all that. So let me answer that question. I've been there before. I've been there. I found myself in a situation where I was fully invested in the market, and then when I see new recommendation, I wonder, where do I get money? And I remember at some point again, I started wondering that, no, if I'm here, then I mean a lot of members are also here too. So what's the solution? So this is what I do. I tell people that if you still find yourself depositing funds or looking for funds to buy new stock anytime I recommend, then it means there's still something wrong. Because in the community, I usually recommend an average profit of, at least then we started with 15-20%, and then I upped it to like between 20-30% or thereabouts. I don't joke with profit taking. If you see, when a stock is up by 20% in the market, when I buy a stock and I see that I'm up 20% in the market, even though I know the stock is still going up, maybe 50, 100%, it's that first 20%, I don't joke with profit taking. It is those profit taking that gives me cash to prepare for the next recommendation. So what a lot of people do is when they buy stock, then they just have their capital tied in completely to the market. You must learn to, your portfolio, which is made up of your stock, and your wallet must be talking to each other at every point in time. I don't know if you've heard me say this before. I've said it before for people that have been in the community for a long time. Your wallet provides the money, the cash that you need to buy your stock, which is your portfolio. Your portfolio should also give you cash to fund your wallet ahead of the new recommendation. So for me, when I buy a stock and I see that I'm up by 20-30%, I may not necessarily sell everything, but you see that 20%, once that stock is up by 20%, I will take some profits. So if there was a time I was almost zero on my wallet. And then I looked at it, I said, if I scrape, I see some stocks doing 20%, 30, 40, 50%. And I'm seeing a new opportunity that would most likely give me the same return. And immediately, I started removing 20% from each of the stocks that have done 20, 30, 40. And I was surprised how much I could raise from that to reinvest. When you take advantage of compound return, your portfolio will grow faster. It's magical. 1.2 times 1.2 times 1.2 times 1.2. Now, what does this mean? If your portfolio is growing by an average of 20% every quarter, on average, it means that in a year, you can do almost 100% in a year. So this is 2.07. By the time I remove the one, which is capital, that will be 1.07, which is the profit on that portfolio. Remember, I did not hold a stock to give me, I did not buy a stock to give me 100%. I was only taking profit of 20%. That's the perfect definition of a little drop of water makes an ocean. So when you compound smaller return, that is where the real money is. The real money is compounding smaller return. Now, some return can actually go up, maybe 20%, 30%, 40, 50, 70. So people will say, oh, I sold this stock too early and it went up. See, the last thing you should be doing in this market is to regret selling a stock for profits. Nobody can time the top of the market. The same way the stock went up, that's how the stock can crash. So if you are in this market, your portfolio should be able to feed the same wallet that provided the cash for you to buy your stock. When your stocks are up 20-30%, what do? I'm not saying you should sell all. Take some profits, scrape some profit. When you scrape profit across stocks, you will see that money you are looking for will come out in your cash wallet. ahead of the new one. That's it. That's what I do. So when I'm buying a stock, I'm also looking at how do I take profit? Because at the end of the day, profit is like your unrealized cash. Why cash is a realized profit? And cash, they say, is the king. You can't use profit to buy new stock except you sell the stock. So maybe you should look at feeding your wallet by taking some profit across your stock, and then watch out again for the new recommendation. And then in terms of holding your stock, for me, it's 8 to 10. Now, what you can do again is I have like 3 or 4 portfolios. Now, they are all trading, aside from the one I use for investing. Now, there's a portfolio that I built specifically for New Year picks. All those stocks are recommended for 2026. The top 4 stocks for 2026, I already have them in that portfolio. That portfolio, I don't sell those stocks. They are there till the end of the year. Now, I have another portfolio. That's where you see buying and selling taking place. So you see those 4 stocks that I already have for the new year. They have already reduced my portfolio. So the number of stocks I'm going to hold in the other portfolio. Now, I also have what I call my G30 stocks, G30 portfolio. This G30 portfolio, these are the ones you have. That's this Excel sheet here. These ones are the heavyweights, market cap above 100 billion. The heavyweight picks, especially the ones that are down. When I buy these kind of stocks, they are in one portfolio. Now, I then have the regular one where I do my normal buying and selling. So there are stocks by default that I don't just go there to buy and sell. These ones I'm holding them for a year. I'm holding them for 12 months. Minimum, I'm holding them for 12 for 10 months. Then I have what I call my dividend growth stock. You understand this if you've been a member of the community for like 12 months. Dividend growth stocks are those ones that I buy them to eat my cake and have it. What do I mean? I buy them for dividend and capital appreciation. Meaning that by the time I recommend those stock, one, I'm seeing attractive yield sitting, and because their yields are attractive, they have the tendency of attracting institutional investors, because it doesn't make sense for you to invest almost 100 million, 200 million in stock market without collecting dividend, because those kind of investments, 10%, 15% makes a lot of sense. So those stocks that institutional investors are going to buy with attractive yield, I take position around June, July, August. That's where dividend growth stock comes in. Now, when I buy those kind of stocks, I am taking advantage of institutional participation. When insurance start pumping money, pension fund, insurance, because they know that the dividend are going to be attractive, I'll take advantage of capital appreciation. That one I can hold them from that June, July till the next month, May, when they start paying dividends. So you can see different portfolio serving different purposes in the market. So that way, I'm not carrying all the stocks of one portfolio and then I'm seeing over 20, 30 stocks. I am strategically positioned on these stocks because of what they do, because of what they offer. Dividend is there. The one for the new year is there, as well as the G30 stocks. Then the other one I have at normal trading, when you hear me say, oh, buy this, I sell this, I'll buy Ikeja Hotel, it's up by 50%, 100%, I sell, I take profit. So you can expand your portfolio by having multiple trading portfolio serving specific purposes, like the G30 stocks, like the dividend growth stock, and then you have your new year peak. So I don't know if that answers your question, so that you don't lump everything together in one portfolio and are confused on which to sell and which not to sell. All right, I have this. Is it high peak? Please, can you unmute your mic, please?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much. May the peace of God continue to be with you.
Amen. Thank you,
For
sir.
giving us all this opportunity. The first time I came across you on YouTube, I knew you know what you are doing. That is just it. And may the peace of God continue to be with you as you keep updating the YouTube. So I joined this year. I joined in September, and my portfolio is doing well. I'm a forex trader, but I have some of my guys in the forex market that will tell me they invest most of their profits in the Nigerian stock. I don't really believe in the Nigerian stock because sometimes when you check the charts, you might have different gaps, and I don't really like the chart the way it looks. So I don't invest my time in it. Basically, I'm on the forex part of the market. But coming through you on YouTube and the way you analyze and the way you do your thing, I believe, and it makes me want to join your group and participate in the Nigerian stock market. So I have been there, and most of the stock you recommended, I have invested in them. I have seen profits, which makes me believe it's something I will want to go more in 2026. But my question is, do you use different companies, as in different broker for your portfolio? Because you talk about the G30 stocks portfolio, dividend growth stock portfolio, trading stock portfolio, and your 2026 peak portfolio. Do you use different broker for these stocks? And do you encourage us to also have these portfolios in different brokers' accounts? That is my question.
Yes. I use different brokers. Yes, I use Stanbic. I use Investment One. I use Investment One for my investment. I use Atlas, and then I have with UCAP. Now, if you want to buy all these stocks in just one portfolio, you still need it. Maybe you still need a journal just to note down the essence of these stocks. That's it. You still need a journal. If you want to buy all in a brokerage account, maybe you have one broker and you want to buy all the stocks, you might just need still have that journal to support it. Or you can even create an Excel sheet like you see here, Excel sheet, and then you have a list of your G30 stocks here. So that in case you want to sell, you come back to your Excel sheet to look at this sheet and say, oh, am I supposed to sell this stock now? No. I bought this stock for this purpose. So that's for someone who's buying all the stocks in one brokerage account. But for me, I have separate brokerage account. Now, why I do that is because there's this um tendency to always want to trade when you cite a stock. So for me, when I open my stock brokerage account, the one I bought for G30, except something happens, I don't think I have any reason to check those stock. Actually, those one that passes my checklist. So I don't have to be, for example, look at my investment account. I don't have to open my investment account every day. Why? What am I doing there? I only bought for dividend. I only bought for long-term appreciation. So why am I opening it? The major work has been done before I even decide to buy. So what am I doing there? Because if you check every day, you have the tendency to want to sell, seeing that one stock is down, then the other one is up, and you want to swap. So I only look at the ones I trade actively. So my advice is you can open different brokerage accounts in the Nigerian stock market. There are many brokers. There's Stanbic IBTC there. There's a Cardinal Stone. There's a lot of brokers that are recognized by SEC and also active dealers in the Nigerian stock market that you can open a brokerage account with, and then have these stocks in
Okay,
those portfolio.
I think that is the best way to go about it, having different brokers for it.
Yes.
Because coming back to the Excel sheet every time to check, it might
It
be
doesn't. Yeah.
missing. And if you are not good with the Excel, you might get it all wrong.
Yes.
So
True.
my second question is, anytime you are recommending stock, do you put it there that this particular stock is for investment and this one is for trading? Because you spoke about your G30 stock, I think holding a stock for like 12 months, that means you are investing in it.
Okay. When you hold a stock for 12 months, that's not investing. It's trading 12 months or less. Like you see all these stocks on this Excel sheet now. I started building this in January. So anything less than a year or a year on dot is still trading. If it's an investment, then from 1 year upward. For me, I consider an investment, a long-term investment, anything from 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Then maybe like 12 months, 1 year, 2 years. For me, I still see it as medium term. But when you're looking about long term starts from 3 years, 4 years, 5 years upward. So all the stocks you see here, they are for trading. If there's any long-term investment I want to recommend, I would definitely let everybody know that this is for long-term investing. I think I dropped one or two long-term investments, but one of the reasons you don't see me talk about long-term investment every now and then is because we have not seen the market correct significantly to a point where we can say we are in a full bear. The best investment is made in a bear market, not in a bull market. Because in a bear market, stocks are down. You'll be seeing dividend yield compete with treasury bill. The last time we saw similar event was in 2017, 2018. You will see dividend yield will be competing with 1 year treasury bill. Dividend yield of 15%, 17%. And 1 year treasury bill is almost sitting at 18%, 19%. That's when you say we are truly in a bear market, because such will come up when stock price have been beaten down. And when price go down, yields increases, dividend yield increases. That's when the real investment comes in. That's when you mop up stock. I wish that event that played out in 2017 or 2018 will play again. When you see any bank selling for 11 naira and dividend yield is sitting at almost 17 to 18%. People that bought any bank at that price today, they are making good money. Their dividend alone is more than 1 year treasury bill. That's what full-blown bear market, full correction. So that's why you see I'm not probably looking for stocks to invest in now, because I think a lot of stocks are still high. So let's take advantage of the market by trading. But for those that still want to buy for long-term investing and still saying that, okay, when market dips, will buy more, sure. And I've mentioned a few stocks that you can hold, especially the ones you can hold forever. There's analysis I'm working on. Stocks that you can stocks you can buy for 1,000% return in the next 5 years. The last time I carried out that research, that was on BUA cement, BUA food, sorry. And BUA food was selling for almost 300 naira then. Today, BUA food is selling for 700. I think we should be going to our second year in that holding. So what I did was I looked for stocks in Nigerian market that had done 1,000% in 5 years. I am a data-driven analyst. That's how I tag myself. I don't go to the market doing guesswork. And I love working with data. I love numbers. So I will spool all the companies that have done 1,000% in 5 years in the Nigerian stock market. Then I will start looking at their fundamentals one by one. So I will look at what they all had in common. Because you can't do 1,000% in 5 years if there's nothing that had attracted people to you as a company. So I will look at each of the companies. So then look at what they all had in common. Now, by the time I pick that data that they had in common, I will then use that data to screen for stocks. Then I'll find the one that actually meets that particular criteria. That's the potential 1,000%. That's what I did on BUA Food when BUA Food was 300 naira. BUA Food today is selling for 734, and we're still holding. BUA Food is a perfect example of a long-term investing. I don't know if we're aware, very soon they are going to complete their sugar refinery, one of the biggest sugar refinery in Africa, BUA Food. And they sell what you cannot do without: sugar, flour, rice, and edible oil, food. Look at their financials. So if we're talking about long-term investing, it has to be in a company that, when you use your company, by looking at common sense, like common sense investing, a layman would even accept the fact that, oh, this company is a buy. Why? Because of what they sell. So we'll look at that. So, but most of the stocks I've been recommending are for trading. And in trading, every year, if you can grow your portfolio every year by comfortable 50% on average, every year, 50%, 50%, 50%, 50%, you are far better than the person doing treasury bill. But it doesn't mean treasury bill is bad. But at least such kind of return, if you compound it in the next 10 years, and you know what you're doing in your portfolio should do well and perform the market steadily. Look at dollar exchange rates. At least the Nigerian stock market had outperformed dollar exchange rates. And if we continue like this next year, most likely we will perform dollar exchange rate, because already the dollar has been projected to fall going by the interest rate, just like what I shared earlier on. So we have a lot of opportunity looking at us, staring at us in 2026, but we also need to be strategic in those opportunities so we don't find ourselves buying random stock. That's why the list of stock I will be buying in 2026 are those stocks that are outperform the market in 2025. So by default, 31st of December, or in short, I've been saying it, you will see 5 stocks that did 100%. If you had bought this stock in January, no, those are not the kind of stock you should be buying for 2026. If you want to look for the top gainer in 2026, look for stocks that have been beaten down. Stocks that have been beaten down in 2025 are potential winner in 2026. These are the kind of stock that will give you good return. Because the ones that are up, their upside potential is limited. They may still go up, but it can't be like stock that is emerging from the bottom. This one that are emerging from the bottom, their downside risk is very low, while upside is very high. These are the kind of stock that can give you 50%, 60%, 70%, 100 over the next 12 months. So if you look at a stock like Owando, for instance, now, People are saying Owando is down. Yes, it's down. I own Owando too. Even though we had first entered Owando at 11 naira, 12 naira the previous year. Now, I'm looking at the stock that has been beaten down. Now, the perspective I'm looking at it here is the macro events. What is happening in the oil and gas space? That's where I'm looking at most of this oil and gas stuff. That's why I keep looking at oil and gas stuff as a sector that might recover, because it's one sector that have been beaten down in 2025, and the government is doing a lot to stabilize that sector. So Owando is beaten down, but if you watch critically, I told everybody in 2024, 2023, hold your Owando until Tinubu is no longer there again. That was the major language. That was the major term I used. Hold your Owando when Owando was still selling for 13 naira. So for those that entered then, they may still be up. Now, yes, at some point I recommend Owando, but due to demand and supply interplay, the price still went down. But I had still picked Owando as a stock to watch in 2026 because of a breakout that I'm expecting in the market. So let's continue to hold that. I will update us as we proceed.
Yeah, my last question is
All
based
right,
on
sir.
profit taking. Because when you recommended Ikeja Hotel, when it did, because on your recommendation you said 30 to 50%. So
Yes.
when it did 30%, I sold some and took profit. I sold some profit and took part of the money I invested. I want to ask, is that the right way to take profit?
Yes. That's exactly what I do. When I Ikeja Hotel, I've taken some profits and then I let the rest run. Now, by taking some profits, I have protected my capital partially, number one. And I've also given myself access to cash to invest in another opportunity. That's why I don't run out of cash on my portfolio. By taking some profits on Ikeja Hotel, I have some cash. Then if I watch another stock, let's say, like look at International Brewery, I don't know, I'm not saying it to go up next week, but if this week something happened, maybe over the next 2 weeks, I will take some profit too. When I'm up 30% minimum, I will take some profit because I need to load my wallet ahead of the next recommendation. That's how I allow compound interest, compound return to work for me. For some that will say, oh, no, I will hold the stock. Even if there's a new recommendation, I don't have cash. I will skip it. Fine. You are like, I always say, you are the CEO of a portfolio. But when I see a better, and same thing also applies to, there are some loss-making company that has no prospects. If I see that there's no longer prospect again in this company, what I do is I'll swap them for new recommendation. I'll swap this kind of stuff for new recommendation and then we'll move on. No one is perfect in this market. The most important thing is at the end of the year, when you take a stock of your portfolio, you want to be sure that you are up. That's why I would advise again, make sure you have a journal or make sure you have a record of how much you started the year with or how much you have invested in the market so far against what your portfolio is telling you at the end of the year. Those are the things that will encourage you. So if you say, okay, this year I've invested 13 million in Nigerian stock market, and what's the value of my portfolio? Oh, my portfolio is sitting at 20 million naira. Yes, it's fine. There will always be gain, there will always be loss, but make sure that you record more gain in the market than loss. So that way you are still profitable. The following year again, you continue knowing fully well that at the end of the year, you are always ending your portfolio ending higher or bigger. All right. I hope you have okay, so let's take Augusta, please. Sorry for keeping you Augusta, please. Apologies for that.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening,
Good
Coach
evening.
Oge.
Good evening.
I really want to say thank you for this great opportunity. I don't take it for granted.
Thank you.
Coach Oge, I must say that you have really outperformed my expectations. Okay, I joined in 2023, and prior then, I only knew of stock for investing. I didn't know one could trade stocks. So joining the platform, I could see, okay, sell at 30% high, and it was interesting, So within from that period till now, I have learned a lot. I remember in 2024 February when my portfolio was bleeding, the likes of Guinness and MTN, some other stocks. I was fidgeting that she I never enter one chance. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so then I was forgetting that shall never enter one chance, but over time, oh my portfolio has really outperformed what I could think of. I really want to say thank you. Stocks like Guinness that I mentioned that was bleeding then. Presently, I'm doing over 371%.
Wow.
And thank you for telling us to hold on to Guinness. When Guinness was saying a mandatory takeover, sell at 81, I almost sold. But
Yeah.
thanks for that word. Because you said that, I held on to it and I'm profiting from it. The likes of Champion Brewery, CWG, WAPCO. Wow. In fact, overall, my portfolio is doing 91%. Thank you.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then in fact, at some point I wasn't on a job. Even presently I'm not working, but looking at my portfolio, it gives me joy, and I know it's going to be brighter at the end of the tunnel. Then also I really want to thank you on how you were able to manage scammers. Because I remember at some point it was okay, one member complaining how he paid to the wrong account. I think that was when you brought up support, that the only number
Yes.
to start with was support. So all of that drastically reduced. Thank you very much. You have done fantastically good.
Thank you.
Okay. What else do I have to say? Okay. Then please, I have two requests, if you
Okay.
would oblige me, please. I really thank you for the knowledge so far. Right now, looking at financial statements, I can boldly say yes, even without comments on Globfolio. When I look at financial statement, I will know if the company is doing well or not. Also coupled with the news, the fundamentals that you have taught us so far. But please, I don't know if you can improve on the technical analysis. Someone like me, I don't really understand that aspect. You understand? So
Mm.
please, if the same way you have taught us on the fundamentals, the likes of financial statements and following up with news, if you would also improve on helping us to have basic understanding on the technical analysis beyond the explanation you give on the stocks. Yes, those ones also help, but being able to look at a chart and say, yes, the chart is doing well, I would really appreciate if you can include that in what you're offering to us. Then also, another request I have is Biko, the monthly webinars, they are mind blowing. But unfortunately, after each section, that is gone, we are not able to access it. In fact, today I was listening to November webinar because I know after today I may not have access to that November webinar, and I made my notes. I know in the past you said maybe you make it in a way that we can access it. So I don't know if you can revisit us being able to access monthly webinars over time. That will also boost our confidence and our knowledge as we go by. I think those are my take. Then talking about stocks that have been down, most of my stocks are doing very well. Even Owando, I bought when it was 11, but like you always advise that we take profits. I think I sold when it got to about 50 something before you recommended again at 60. So I averaged down. Even though I'm on a loss on Owando, but I know say I don't chop Owando money, so I know they pay me. You get. So, so that's it, please. Those two requests, if you can teach us more on technical analysis and making the monthly webinars available, please, I will appreciate. And I'm sure every other member will appreciate. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So let me respond to the last question. Yes, I spoke to my developer. We had a conversation even today, and I told him that please, I'm tired of deleting this whole webinar thing. That is it possible for us to have previous webinar on the platform so that new members can also go back to previous webinar and existing member can also watch. There are times I might want to refer to previous month webinar. Oh, go to April webinar, go to June webinar, and they can't read, they can't watch it. So somehow it's frustrating. I told him, so we'll try. That for me is one of the major changes that would affect on the Globfolio platform, where you can watch monthly webinars for the webinars for previous month. We'll do that. And then on the technical analysis part, well, the thing is, I teach that in ETC class. That's part of what I teach in ETC because I may not have the time to teach everything or mention them on the follow platform, especially when I'm recommending stock. But let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can come up with a basic learning on technical analysis and post it on Globfolio learning. I'll try. I'll try. Then on some of your stocks, congratulations. Thank God you didn't sell Guinness. I remember Guinness vividly when they announced that 80 naira mandate took over. I remember very well. I told everybody in the community, don't sell that. Guinness ordinarily should be worth more than this 80 naira. I know a lot of people sold. I know people that came to my DM and are telling me, I sold. But I told them, you don't sell, don't sell. One of the things I've noticed in the market is that when a company discovers that its financials are improving, so first thing they do is either they want to buy back all the shares they have, or some of them will want to. Sure, one of the things I hated so much then as far back as 2018 was the right issue. And I see that recently when a stock price goes up, the next thing you see right issue because they want to raise money. So I'm glad we didn't sell Guinness as 18 naira. Look, I get Guinness is now 318 naira. And that kind of profit is massive. We started buying Guinness from 66 naira, 66, and then it was still a loss-making company. And I remember the scenario I painted on Tularam, how that number one, what I gave them, I think I shared two options. Then first one was is either Tularam takes Guinness out of the market, and I've not seen any company that will buy back such shares at a lower price. So meaning they most likely pay higher price for it, or they will merge Guinness distribution center with their since they already have an existing, and that way distribution costs will be lower, which I think will boost profitability. I didn't even know that they had better plan. Look at Guinness, even FS gain alone, massive. Look at where Guinness is right now, over 318 naira. Well, I'm not saying it will go up more, but I think at this point, Guinness is already sitting at its all-time high. Guinness is sitting at its all-time high. So you have to be very careful at this point. Let me please show you Guinness on charts. This is Guinness here. You can see here, Guinness is sitting at all-time high. Let me launch my monthly time frame. You can see here. The last time Guinness, okay, this is 66. Let me switch this to monthly time frame. Okay, you can see the last time Guinness touched this level was in 2013, January 2013. So you can see here, you can see how Guinness is breaking out of the last high, all-time high in 2013. So 2013 to 2025 is like 12 years. So you can see Guinness is breaking out of a 12 years high right here. So you need to be very careful at this point. Now, if the market continues to reward the company for reporting good numbers, sure, it will break out to continue to rally higher. But at this point, for me, one just needs to be very careful. At this point, I'm looking at another stock. Look at the stock I am paying a lot of attention to. See that international beauty? Let me show you something very interesting here. See, beyond just that recommendation, look at international beauty here. Some of you will be seeing this chart for the first time. You might have read my detailed analysis, but this is the first time you'll be seeing my chart on international beauty. Look at international beauty here. Now, the last high that this company attained was around 50 naira. Yes, 50, 50, 50, 50, 62. That was in 2017. Can you see here? 2017. Now, international beauty had tested this here. Now, remember when all these things happened before it touched a high of 62 naira or 64? Oh, this will be 62. Yes. You can see what happened before then. We had a double bottom. I shared all this on the Globfolio platform. And this happened in 2016, 2017. Right now, we are seeing a repeat of the same. You can see here. This was almost the same chart pattern that Owando formed 10 naira before it rallied higher. So, international beauty recovery from this 11 naira here is not a coincidence. This was the language I shared when Owando was selling for 10 and 11 naira. This is not a coincidence. This is the market retesting a key level that was tested in 2016 and 2017. And what happens here? Break and retest. When you have a break and retest of a major key level, then it means something is likely going to happen. You can see here, So if I'm going to look at key level, it means International Beauty has the potential of rallying from 14.5 into 50 if the market continues, sorry, if the company continues to impress the market with solid financials. So 2025 was a recovery year. 2026 will be marked by market improvements. 2026 is a year that any consumer goods company that increases its market share should see a massive rally. So this is a company that I think is still emerging from the bottom. International Beauty, just like Nigerian Beauty did. Let me show you Nigerian Beauty. So that's why I mentioned International Beauty and Nigerian Beauty. Why Nigerian Beauty had rallied, but still has good upside potential, International Beauty has good upside. So if you're considering a stock you want to hold for the next 12 months, you can see here, you can see this is Nigerian Beauty. You can see, look at this period again. You can see this key level tested in 2016. That's what the market is testing here. So Nigerian Beauty is breaking out of a key level that was once support in 2016. Some of you will say, I've not been in the stock market or I was not in the stock market 10 years ago. Whatever happened in the past doesn't concern me. No, it does. It does. The market is still respecting key level that was established as far back as 2012 to 2013. Even though you are not in the market, please don't ignore this major key level. These are levels where institutions, strong players, always react. So if Nigerian Beauty breaks out of this major key level, which was once support, you can see here in 2012 into 2016 and now playing out in 2025, there is nothing stopping Nigerian Beauty from rising from 77 into 100. Like I said, all this will depend on the ability to continue to impress the market in 2026. So any consumer goods company that reports impressive first quarter, so that's why I'm paying attention to first quarter. You see, January to March 2026 is going to be a major determinant of the particular consumer goods company that will deliver at least 100%. So you can see what is happening here. These are not coincidences. These are price action. And remember the time frame. I'm using the monthly time frame. This is the key level here. Double top. We saw one touch here before a crash. So if the market successfully break out of this level, we have the next touch around 139. And remember, all this depends on financial. So if Nigerian Beauty and International Beauty reports impressive first quarter results, there is nothing stopping these stocks from doing at least 100%. Like I said, all this depends on first quarter results. We'll continue to watch. So these are the consumer goods companies that are still emerging from the bottom. If you are looking at other companies, look at USCN. Now, USCN was also a major stock to buy in 2024. We started buying USCN as far back as 2024. That was 15 naira before USCN surged to where it is. Now, USCN acquisition of Chivita is also a major event to watch. But I want to be sure that the company will back this uptick with solid fundamental. Look at USCN recovery. You can see here. Look at USCN recovery. In 2024, we bought USCN at 15 naira. And then look at where it is right now. Although I've sold USCN, I re-entered a few days ago after I passed my comments. Now, all these stocks, I call them turnaround companies. If you're looking for companies that can comfortably deliver 100%, 200% in Nigerian stock market, go for turnaround companies. Turnaround companies are companies that have been beaten down. You can see here, the market ignored them, the market dumped them because of bad financials, macroeconomic event, and suddenly they started picking up. These are, I call them turnaround company. You can look at Guinness too. Guinness is also a turnaround company. So look for turnaround companies that were beaten down and are recovering from the bottom because they are turning their fortunes around. You can see Guinness. Guinness was beaten down from 2013, beaten down. An example, a way to check a turnaround company is that you're going to see what I call a U-shaped pattern or a V-shaped pattern. Look at this here. You see, it looks like a U or V shape. And all these are going to be formed over like 10, 15 years. This is a monthly time frame. This was in 2013. So 2013 to 2025 is like 11 years. So that U-shaped pattern, it takes 10 years, 15 years. So when you find similar company like this, like Nigerian Brewery, one company that also formed, I think WAPCO was also a turnaround company sometimes some months back before it recovered. So when they were recovering from the bottom, many of you did not see that. Look at it here. Can you see? Around 2014, you can see how WAPCO dropped from 120. I already marked my key level. You can see here, dropped here. That period of recovery, this is how to find a stock that will give you 100 to 200% comfortably in the Nigerian stock market. Look for a turnaround company. Look for a company that has emerged, that's still emerging from the bottom. So the two companies I have now that are still emerging from the bottom in the consumer goods space are Nigerian Brewery and International Brewery. Nigerian Brewery and International Brewery. If these two companies impress the market in Q1, I will go. I have good exposure on this company like this because I know definitely their Q4 result will be impressive because of December spending. But you see Q1, if Q1 result impresses the market, these stocks are going back to their previous all-time high. So you see, Nigerian Brewery is still emerging, even though it's already halfway. International Brewery is also emerging. You can only find significant return like this in the market when you look at the non-banking sector stocks. Take your time. Look at top winners every year. Look at the ones for 2025, 2024, 2023, 2022, top 10 or top 10. Yes, top 10, top 15 top performing stocks for the year are usually non-banking stocks. So if you're looking for significant capital appreciation from the Nigerian stock market, focus on non-banking stocks. That's where the money is. That's where the real money is. So Nigerian Brewery and Champions Brewery, Nigerian Brewery and International Brewery, please watch these two companies. Watch them. There are companies you need to watch in that consumer goods space because technically they are still emerging. Technically, they are yet to touch their previous high, and based on my turnaround check, they are only halfway. You can see International Brewery is still even down. You can see here. So this is like a company going through what I call the four phases in the market. The first one is we have the period of distribution. Okay, let me start with the dip. We have the market dip, which is the downtrend. Then we have what we call the accumulation stage, where a stock is consolidating. Then we now see the stock break out from accumulation into what we call the advanced stage or breakout stage. So Nigerian Brewery is breaking out into an advanced stage right now after emerging from accumulation. And the advanced stage, that's where you see most rally. So if you want to make good money in the market, look for stocks that have just broken out into advanced stage and have been supported by good fundamentals. So we'll discuss that in Q1. As I said, we have a lot to discuss in Q1, but I just need to share opportunities. And when you look at macro events that are playing out in Nigeria, it's already providing the ground for this company to thrive. Because one, if interest rates in the US dips, we're going to see stability in Naira because there's going to be more inflow of USD from carry traders. And that way, Naira will definitely stabilize. And if Naira stabilizes and CBN comes up with better policy, most likely Naira can even get stronger into 1,100. So imagine Naira getting stronger into 1,100. A lot of consumer goods stocks will make good money because their costs, especially the ones that are reliant on importing raw materials, they're going to spend less this time around. And if they spend less, it means that their cost of sale, direct cost will definitely drop, meaning there's going to be improvement in their margin. And that way, profit would also be boosted. So I'm watching them clearly. Nigerian Brewery and International Brewery, if Q1 result comes out better, these stocks are going to be surging higher and far, far, far beyond expectation. All right, so let me quickly look at. I'm just doing this intentionally for us to see opportunities in the market while we're talking, so that we'll be noting them down. Mr. Richard, kindly unmute your mic, please.
All right. Please confirm you can hear me, Coach.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I will just go straight to the point. First of all, I want to thank you and appreciate you so much for the privilege. I wouldn't lie. As the one who around me, that I'm a core member. I think I'm 25 years, and I joined the Globfolio February precisely, which is about 11 months now, I think. So I believe to an extent, Coach, my portfolio has done what I would say I've never seen before because when I joined, there was something I really did. You've always been so big on learning and gaining value first before putting your money. So I didn't start investing immediately in February. I waited till like March before even buying any stock. Before joining Globfolio, I've always heard about the stock market, but it's always been, oh, I'll just buy one or two stocks here and not really looking so much to anything because the knowledge was not really there. And I don't like investing my money in something that I don't really understand very well. So I focused on that first month. I think I went all through all the courses on Globfolio. I did several nights on going through all the courses on the website. And after that, I now decided to hop on. I think one of the stocks that I bought, one of my first buys was Champion Breweries, which was, I would say, would I say a case of opportunity meets preparedness because as at when I bought it, I knew exactly why I was buying it. So I didn't just randomly just jump on it because you said we should buy it. I reading through the recommendation alone and based on the previous knowledge I already gathered, I just think that Omo, this coach knows exactly what he's talking about. Even coupled with the way you analyze your chart. First of all, how did I even join Globfolio? It was from the 2024 webinar, just like this now, where everybody comes and makes about how their previous year went. So I think you posted it on YouTube, and I saw that video in January of 2025, just this year. And after watching the video, that's when I made the decision. I said, okay, hey, let me just take this opportunity to join. And so far, I listened to all you've said on swapping, on taking profits and reinvesting and all that. And coach, if I'm checking, I did an Excel sheet to track my portfolio since that February till now. Both all the the profits I sold and invested, and I'm seeing, this is not whining. I'm seeing about 300%.
Whoa.
In 11 months based on selling and reinvesting in other stocks. Only Champion alone is about 200%. I wouldn't lie. So, because as at the time we recommended, I think my average entry on Champion was around 4.3 average cost.
Yes.
So the thing is, it's so mind blowing, but I would say all this did not just happen randomly. It happened because I decided to follow. I followed every single instruction, and there's something I don't joke with too, which is your entry price. Once I miss a stock, like even if it's pumping high, there's few stock, very, very few stock I may decide to just put in money when it's already not so high, but at least it has rallied to a certain point. And that's based on when you now mention if you're going in now, it's just based on maybe you want to risk it. And I don't put money that I know I can't afford to lose in such stocks like that because I know I'm young. So I definitely know I'm at a point where I can take more risk. So, coach, I would say thank you very much. Like this year I would say it was a year of learning, and it was a very good year for me because the goal in 5 years' time is that the stock market, I have fixed income investments too. The stock market should, to a very extent, take care of all my expenses. So, when you talk about financial freedom and you get to a point where all your assets are enough to take care of expenses. So, I know I'm young, and maybe this is to any other young person here, that this is an encouragement for you that, the popular saying on the online space that young people are not really interested in stock market, especially the Nigerian stock market. But I want to beat that mindset because there's money to be made in this market. How did I even get the money to invest? For somebody might be asking, okay, I finished school last year. I did an internship. It was a remote job. And a good sum of money came into my hand earlier this year. And I said, how do I invest this money in such a way that I would be very glad that I did? And coincidentally, I came across a YouTube video. So I'm really, really grateful, coach, even down to the fact that you are always big on knowledge. I read a lot. I'm somebody who reads lots and lots of books. So when I joined also, I started learning about stock market. I started reading books. So sometimes you tell us stories of how you started from your early days in the university, even starting small. So as I'm talking to you, I don't have like millions in terms of like some people might have in their portfolio, but I have up to at least 6 figures, and it might not be so much, but I'm seeing the steady growth. That's the most important thing for me. So I'm really, really grateful, coach. I'm grateful for the knowledge. I'm grateful for um even the discount. When you did the Black Friday discount, it was a no-brainer for me. I didn't even think twice. So I renewed my subscription up until February 2027 because come on, one I've already seen this year is enough to convince me. So as at May precisely, I had already made back the money I paid for my subscription during the year. So it was just so amazing. I know they say the stock market is not a get rich quick um scheme, even though sometimes it can reward you quickly. So as I said, my case is a case of preparedness meets opportunity. And I'm very, very sure that moving forward, my plan from next year is the more I earn, there's literally no months I don't put money in the stock market. I have an investment portfolio, like you mentioned, and a trading portfolio. So for an investor, there's literally no months I don't put money there. So I've grown to the point that before I think about buying anything, I check, well, oh, have I put what amount of money have I invested before I choose to even buy something. And moving forward next year, I'm really looking on doubling down on how much I have invested because, of course, the more capital you have, the more returns you get in the market. So thank
Yes,
you so much.
yes.
This
Thank
is, like I
you.
said, this is just me sharing my story to
Thank
encourage,
you.
especially young people. If you're a young person, please and please and please, there is money to be made in this market. Thank you so much, coach. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was inspiring. That reminded me of how I started my journey in this market for my second year in school. Same thing. Someone asked me, Coach, why are you so passionate about this market? Why do you talk like you? I say you won't understand. So I can relate to that story, and I'm glad. I think you've gotten a. I don't know how to explain this. The money is not the problem; it is the knowledge. And I can assure you, in the next 5 years, that portfolio will not be the same. That's certain. So you can come to the market with 1 million naira, 10 million. If you don't have the knowledge, you can't grow it. But you have gotten what you need. So it's like saying that your soil is now fertile. Your soil is now fertile in the market. So all you need to do is just expand, keep learning, keep expanding, keep learning. And the fact that you're even in this community, forget it. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate. Okay, I have is it Elizabeth? Kindly unmute your mic, please.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Compliments of the season, coach.
Same to you.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to appreciate you. You know, I've been with you for 2 years, since 2023, and it's been a wonderful one. 2020, like I joined 2022, but I watched you for a year before I was able to come in. And since then, it's been a great experience. And I want to say thank you. The knowledge, the financial aspect of it, you helped me to cultivate what it means to have patience. And it's been wonderful. So last year, I made up my mind after our end of the year webinar like this. I made up my mind I was going to trade only on G30 stocks, and I was not going to exit more than 5 stocks in my portfolio, and that was exactly what I did. I think the first stock was Okomu and Presco. I had some money. I've been saving, just keeping some money, and my mom is a civil servant, and I was working towards her retirement, at least let her have a roof over her head before her retirement. So that money that I kept aside was what I used. When you mentioned Okomo and Presco, that was what I used for that investment for both stocks. And to be honest with you, those two stocks helped me to raise that building, a 4 bedroom, to above lintel level. Those two stocks alone in this 2025. And that was my biggest gain so far. And I want to say thank you because if it weren't for this, I don't think I would have had any miss on how I will get to that level. So I want to say thank you. And then I think another stock I missed last year when you mentioned was Wando. So early this year, again, when you mentioned Wando, I just have to like there was a statement you made. You said hold Wando as long as T-Pain is still on seat. So I dive in, and going forward, the thing was just dropping. I didn't have any panic because of that statement alone. I was just holding on to it. And then I bought Transcorp Power, and then I think lastly I bought Julius Berger. And I said to myself, these stocks, I'm not holding them for short term. So the only stock I had then that I've traded was the one I used for that project. But as moving forward, I said to myself, I'm not going to do any trading. It's just going to be a long-term investment. And as I speak to you, I don't have more than 5 stocks in my bank, in my portfolio, and they are all G30 stocks. So I believe and trust God that as time goes on, everything will become normal, and I'm definitely going to make it big this time around because of that decision. So I want to say thank you, and thank you so much for being a blessing to my life, for making me understand that a woman can actually do some certain things. So thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was mind blowing. SOG, please unmute your mic, please. We have 10 minutes. This is 9:32 already. Please.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thanks,
Good evening,
Coach
sir.
Oge. So I actually joined the group in August this year. So how did I join? I think I stumbled on your YouTube channel where you talk about sovereign insurance.
Yes.
Where that, of course, I already belong to that group, and I mean this part of my work 9 to 5 a.m. work as a pension manager, right? So the number one thing I like about it here is that it's knowledge based. So for me, that's the number one thing I want to comment. I like something that is data driven and knowledge based. I'm giving my background. That's that endear me to the group, and particularly I used the sovereign insurance to launch, that rally from May to August before the market started. So I first used to cash out. That's what I do now. But just strongly for me, it's knowledge based because it's not only about the money mainly, because for me it's more of a long time plan, right? From two angles I look at it. First, as part of my personal retirement plan, this is what I can really do when I exist the 9 to 5 p.m. work, and also the depth of financial literacy, in our environment. It's also something one can really pass on to others. So again, I really like the Globfolio from the community because of the knowledge base, and from there it can really empower people. Then the next for me, for the stock that are fully, so I'm doing a hybrid, right? So for the stock that have done well for me, this so far, if I go to the US stock, is the BFL YS stock. That I've done 51. The US is not like Nigeria where you are limited to either a loss of 10 plus or minus 10. So you recommend it just some few months back, and they already done 51.72 for my. Then Teva I've done 56.4 already. And of course for the BFL, I cash out and also just retain some just advance and also re-enter again.
This is for Nigerian market. We would have section for US markets. This for Nigerian stocks.
Okay, fine. Okay, so I've done Boasment, which is about the 23.9, right? Of course, what they call the volatile stocks. Even though I bought it for Johnny here, I know you talk about it some few weeks back, that the leak. That done about 167. And my MTN have done 181. For Julius Berger, I just there. For Okomu, I do trading with it. Just by the time I cash out at 24.8% So what do I want to do better come 2026? Number one is to separate my trading from investment portfolios. Have to have a different thing for it. Then I have to see how I can realign my portfolio in terms of equal capital allocation. Just as one of the community members said, I think for me it's going to be a really a big challenge. For that, but I'll see how I can do it. Then I want to see how I can enter the uncharted ground, that is the ETF and stock option. And I want to spread, maybe going forward, on mutual stock ETF and stock option going forward. I think that's for me, and see how I can really improve my knowledge on the technical analysis aspect. I want to use this forum to just maybe there was a time you shared this template spreadsheet, right, where it is, and I reached out to the Globfolio customer service that I did not receive it, even after several time. But I've not still received that, so I just want to plead. If what I've sent a reminder, if I can still get templates, that will help me to manage my. But overall, I want to say thank you for what you do for me knowledge interpret. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it. God bless you. God bless you, sir. Okay. Who is AB? Let me see. Okay, I have an let me see. Mr. Edwin, please let's summarize it so that I can conclude here and call it a wrap. Mr.
Okay,
Edwin.
good evening. Yes, good evening and compliments of the season, Coach
Same to you,
Oge.
sir. Same to you, sir.
Actually, I'm not supposed to talk, but I cannot just skip it. I joined Globfolio community in November. I am actually very keen in knowledge, but to be honest, I have not so far found any material very useful, very impactful as at what I got from you. And I'm giving I'm giving this to you. I
Thank
remember
you.
registering some courses online, buying some books and on Udemy. But of all of those courses, I really have not come across any one of them that have given those concepts to the basics for any new beginner to be able to learn. So that is very, very much commendable of your efforts.
Thank
And
you.
also not just to mention, but then I have already gotten my my registration back already as at from November to December.
Okay.
So thank you very much and
Okay.
all the best in the 2026 that we are.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you in December 2026. Okay. Okay. Mr. Nwokike, unmute your mic, sir.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, Coach Oge, I want to thank you very much for all you've been doing for us. I want to go straight to the point because of time constraint. There's a stock of Sterling Holdings that we've held from January till date. Uh, I really don't know because I thought it was supposed to follow the likes of FCMB and Wema, but they've all left it behind. In terms of swapping, is it one of how do should we still wait or is it one of the stocks we should try and see how we
What
can
stock? Mention
swap
the name.
sterling.
Okay.
It's on
Okay.
your it's on your G30. So
Yes.
we've held it. I followed you to enter, but I know that probably is micro. He didn't things. I don't know. I'm trying to know why we didn't have what we were expecting and
Okay.
whether we should swap it.
Okay. Did you enter at the price I recommended? Like from here now, you can see from here around 5.78 price to 7.1. Now, someone mentioned some. Okay, I will answer your question. I've not mentioned sterling for swapping, but I think you might want to do that because by the time I come up with a new list of G30 stocks for 2026, you might probably want to do that. So if you
Okay.
enter at the price I recommended, I'm not sure you should be at a loss first.
No, I'm not. Marginal
Okay,
gain.
okay,
Mm.
okay. Yes. Now, okay, fine. Is that all, sir?
Yes, I want to be
Okay,
brief.
okay,
Mm.
okay. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so for that, you might probably need to swap. But like I said, let's hold on to January because I have a lot to share with us, especially sector by sector. I also noticed a trend in the banking sector, the banking sector index. Looks like there's something happening there, and I wouldn't want to just issue a sell instruction and then on Monday something is changing. In terms of the gain, I think one of us mentioned something very important, how that the gain here may not probably reflect the actual gain on your portfolio because of the charges. Now, just note, these are just estimates. These are just estimates. Now, if you have to factor in your charges, everything should probably be around 3 to 5% or thereabouts. So most likely going to be close. So it's not compulsory that you must buy at the exact price I mentioned here. That's why I have my bandwidth 5 to 10% bandwidth. Meaning when I recommend a stock, you shouldn't probably enter above maybe like 5% of whatever I recommend. So the idea of this sheet is just to share with you what the performance were like or how the performance are like, which will match. It may not totally be in exact level with what you have on your portfolio, but at least should be like a check for me. So if your portfolio is not doing well, for example, if you tell me, oh, I bought all your G30 stocks and I didn't make money, and then I'm now looking at what I have on my sheet, and which is totally different from yours, the first question I will ask you is, at what price did you buy? That's where I'll begin to look at it and all that. So in January, when I will come up with a new G30 sheet, please don't miss that section in January. Don't miss it in January because you will now see me build on our new G30 stock for 2026. And if you follow my G30 stocks from January to December, you should outperform the market. That's the truth because I usually say that if G30 doesn't outperform the market, then it means something is wrong somewhere. Especially the ones that we start from January to December. Like the one we had in 2024, we started in June and we still outperform. So this like the first G30 recommendation from January to December, and then we're seeing the market, our sheet outperform the market. So 2026, please make sure you assess that recommendation, and then we'll take it up from there. So any other input? I don't know. I don't know if there's any other, so we can call it a day. Okay, I don't know if I've seen. Okay, let me pick the last person here, Mr. Udeme. Udeme, sorry. Please unmute your mic, sir. Are you there? Hello? I guess he's having issue with network. Okay, who is it Chukun Nenye? Please unmute your mic, please.
Good evening, everybody. Good
Good
evening,
evening, ma'am.
coach.
Good evening. Good evening.
Well, I've been with you for quite some time, pre-COVID and all those stuff. You are
Oh,
good, and I thank God for your life. Even from the time when we are not paying subscriptions, some of us were there.
interesting.
It's been good. Even when there were some drama works and fireworks, but we thank God.
Hey.
It's
Oh,
been good. We thank God, and I thank God for His blessing in your life, and you
thank
are
you.
using it to bless other people. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you for that. My
Thank
only
you.
question: we know that anywhere in the world when there's election is coming around, it affects their
Mm.
market. What's your take on election coming in 2026 and NGS? Thank you and God bless you.
Okay, thank you for that question. Is this supposed to be I think that was supposed to be a question I will address in January. There are things I don't want to share here. They should be exclusive to members of the Globfolio community. So please, I want to beg you about my news. In January webinar, I will discuss it. In January webinar. There are things I don't want to talk about that it should be exclusive to Globfolio members only. I'll discuss that. I'll discuss that. I've also been looking at it. 2026, 2027 election is here. So I'll discuss it, please. I'll discuss it. Thank you. All right, please. Okay, so I'll probably, I don't know if others are. Richard, I think Richard, you want to say something again because you already are you there?
Yes, coach. Yeah,
Okay,
please.
okay,
So someone sent me a message on Instagram.
okay.
The person said they watched, saw a comment that I made on one of the YouTube videos, and the person noticed I was a member of the community. So the person was asking me questions about the community and what I've learned. And I think the person wanted to subscribe, but was not sure of maybe the value they'll be getting, which I of course I gave them what they needed to know. But then the person wanted to play a fast one, and I was asking for the PDF on 7 Nigerian stocks to get 2026. That's the one that's limited to the Black Friday. And that's where I put a stop to it and told the person that that's a paid it's even a digital product that you are selling yourself that I can't give them access to it. So I don't know if other persons have similar experience too. And I believe I don't think that's something we should just share anyhow to people that are not even members of the community too. I know it's locked, but people can decide to even share the code. So I just wanted to put that out there because I wanted to play a fast one, and I figured I should mention that very
Okay,
quickly.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Well, Nigerians are very funny. So if you follow them, you might just not do the things you're supposed to do. I understand that will definitely happen. And if they access the documents and they go on to buy the stock, well, I don't know what to say. I just try not to think about those things. The point is, I just want to be positive while running this community because there are some books. I even have some ebook that I ought to have even sent to a publishing company, but man, I'm not even ready for all those stress. It's normal. We're in Nigeria. It's normal. It's normal. Let's not even think about it. Thank you so much for calling my attention to that. All right. So please, I wouldn't want us to miss January section. The rest of this section is just for me to. I don't know if people are still raising their hand. I pick. Let me see. I don't know because I need to say something before we call it a day. I've been keeping people for like 2 hours plus, and I'm sure they have other things to do, so we can prepare for January section. All right, so let's call it a day. Like I said, our January webinar is coming, and I'm expanding the slide. There's a lot to learn, and there are a lot of stocks that I'll be talking about, especially stocks I think are well positioned poised for market rally in 2026. And beyond just the fundamentals, I'm looking at the macro events. And most importantly, in January, in May, when we might have seen first quarter results, that's where I see whatever you're doing in this market, please prepare for May. Prepare to go big after Q1 2026. So if you're someone that is used to tying your money down in the market for a long time, please just make plans on how to make cash available for either from your portfolio or from personal saving. After Q1 2026, there's going to be massive opportunities in the market, especially stocks that their single or their first quarter profits already exceed the whole of 2025. Now, I'm not just limiting this peak to those kind of stock. There has to be technical confirmation. So don't go to the market and start searching for those kind of confirmation, those kind of stocks. There has to be a technical confirmation, technical check. Meaning I want to back that peak up with demand and supply in the market. Meaning I want to see demand, I want to see buyer in full control of that stock before we buy them because there's going to be a lot of appreciation on stock in 2026, especially after that first quarter result. I know what I'm saying. I know what I've seen ahead of the market. You must see whatever you have seen in 2025 is just a child's play. Now, it doesn't mean the whole market will go up, but certain selected stock that I'm watching will do well. So please prepare for that, and I hope to see you share that in our December section. Thank you so much. There are things I don't want to talk about here. I think they are exclusive to Globfolio members. So that's why I'm reserving them for January. So in our January section, we're going to have our monthly webinar, first webinar for the year. And that's where we'll share that information. Thank you so much, and I appreciate those that have shared their feedback. Your feedbacks are well noted. I'm going to replay this. I'm going to listen to it over and again. So if there are areas that we need to improve on, I will definitely talk to my support. I will improve on that. God bless you and enjoy the rest of your day. And I wish you a happy new year in advance. Bye-bye. Thanks.